Good morning and welcome. Councilmember Tolba, can you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Councilmember Tolba, would you like to introduce our guest giving the message of aloha?
Sure, thank you so much. It's an honor. Not only has he been a mentor of mine, but when I was in the sixth grade, I won a talent contest because I did Abdullah, Abdullah, Abdullah Fatai. Never I imagined that I would be introducing my friend and fellow comedian, ladies and gentlemen, Frank De Lima.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Aloha, everybody. My name is Frank De Lima. I was born 11:05 at night, St. Francis Hospital. My mom, Pearl Blanche. Oh, wait, didn't Sam Choi start with his parents? Okay, and I won't go that long, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. I was told to come here to do only 5 minutes. Okay, for Portuguese that's kind of hard. But I came here to talk about aloha, spirit. And the first thing came to mind, and this happens often. Okay, just picture it, vineyard. You're on the left turn lane. You're waiting with a whole bunch of other people, and there's one car in front of you, waiting for that green arrow, the left arrow to turn green. And then that person in the front of you doesn't start his car on time, whether daydreaming or on the cell phone or ma and pa kettle, starting up real slow and start turning like that. And you get 15 cars waiting for turn, and only you and that person make it, if you're lucky, right behind them. And that person is going so slow or no start, you go, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. No more the aloha. So all you have to remember is when that ever happens to you, you just got to sing. You got to feel aloha, aloha, the heartbeat of our land. And then you're going to feel much better. Okay, and when you're really in a rush, and you're going, and the yellow light come, and you're the kind that like race the yellow light, but you don't make it in time, and that red is there. When you see the red light, oh, you're just getting all upset. All you got to do is sing. You gotta feel aloha, aloha, the heartbeat of our land. All you gotta do is remember attitude. When you cannot fight whatever is happening at the time, just feel that aloha. Aloha is such a beautiful word. It comes from the Hawaiian culture, and it's something that you hear all the time. You see printed, you see it written on walls and in rock and so forth. But there's a spirit that's attached to it. That spirit is the one that's really difficult for us human beings to constantly have in us. But you can see it, you can feel it, you can hear it. It's a spirit. It's not like Halloween where the spirits cannot see and the spooky. Aloha spirit can be. Whenever somebody does something nice to someone, whenever somebody says something nice to someone, that's aloha spirit. When somebody says aloha to you and you look in their eyes and nobody home, the spirit not attached. Always remember, when you use the word aloha, please make every effort to have that spirit attached to it so that the person can feel it. When that person feels the aloha, then they can also share it with someone else. That's how aloha spirit spreads. And we need a lot of aloha spirit in our world today. And so that's my my feeling of aloha is keep using the word, but always have the spirit attached to it. When you walk into Sam's Club and you have the lady standing by the door, aloha, 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 you know, she's happy to see you. That's her job. It sounds like maybe one robot, but you really don't know if that lady does really have the spirit attached to it. So also a part of aloha is to just give whoever is using that word the benefit of the doubt, because then you're going to feel that spirit. Aloha spirit is needed and needs to be spread more and more. When I tell the kids in the school what aloha spirit is, I share that about how you need to see it and feel it. You can see it and feel it. I tell the kids that all the time. Every school that I go to, for years and years, I include aloha spirit. And now I'm going to end with a nice little story. This atheist, which is someone that doesn't believe in God, was in the woods, and a bear came after him. And the atheist got so scared, he looked up to heaven and said, "Oh my God, help me, a bear is coming after me." And a voice from heaven came down and said, "Does that mean you want to be a Christian?" The atheist think little bit. "No, make the bear a Christian." The bear almost ready to attack, and a miracle happened. The bear's paws came together in prayer form. The bear looked up to heaven and said, "Bless this food which I'm about to eat." That had nothing to do with aloha, but that was my ending. Every word you use it with aloha. Aloha. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, members, let's get to work. Although remote testimony is being permitted, this is a regular meeting and not a remote meeting by interactive conference technology under HRS 92-3.7. Therefore, the meeting will continue notwithstanding the loss of audiovisual communication with remote testifiers or loss of the public broadcast of the meeting. Members of the public will be allowed to provide oral testimony on all items on the agenda, either in person in the council chamber or remotely. Before testifying, each person shall state their full name and the agenda item they are testifying on. Each speaker may not have anyone else read their statement and is limited to a 3-minute presentation on public hearing and new business items, and a 1-minute presentation on all other items. Registered in-person testifiers will be called first. When your name is called, please proceed to the podium and begin by stating your name and the item you'll be speaking on. I will call for anyone who is not registered to speak in person. Please line up to the right of the podium, and when it is your turn, proceed to the podium. Begin by stating your name and the item you'll be speaking on. All persons who have registered to testify remotely by video conference or phone will then be called. When your name is called, please monitor your screen and activate your audio feed when prompted. When I call for anyone else standing by remotely, please utilize the Zoom raise hand button to indicate your desire to speak. For those joining us by telephone only, please press *9 to indicate your desire to speak. The following are some friendly reminders and tips. Video conference from a quiet location if possible. If you're also watching the proceeding on Olelo, please mute your television when you are called to testify. When the timer on the screen reaches 0, please conclude your remarks promptly. For those who are joining us by telephone only, I will identify you by the last 3 digits of your phone number. When your number is called, press *6 to unmute yourself when prompted. Written testimonies, including the testifier's address, email address, and phone number, will be available to the public as described in the posted agenda. As a courtesy, please turn off all cell phones for the duration of the meeting. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Mr. Clerk, roll call.
Councilmember Cordero?
Here.
Councilmember Dos Santos Tam?
Here.
Councilmember Kia Aina?
Here.
Councilmember Okimoto?
Present.
Councilmember Say? Councilmember Talba? Councilmember Tupola?
AO.
Councilmember Wire?
Here.
Chair Waters?
Here.
Mr. Chair, 8 members are present, 1 member is absent.
Thank you very much. Floor Leader Cordero, any guests?
Thank you, Chair. In addition to all the great guests that we had for the honorary certificate program, I would like to also welcome members of our city administration to the chamber. Mahalo.
Thank you so much. Vice Chair Kia Aina, motion to approve the minutes.
I move that the minutes of the 20th session be approved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Mr. Clerk, do we have any testifiers?
Mr. Chair, there are none.
Thank you very much. Members, we're in discussion. Seeing none, any objections or reservations to the minutes? Noting no objections or reservations, the minutes have been approved. Moving to page 4, order of the day. From the Committee on Parks. Brief recess.
Yeah.
Okay, reconvening members from the Committee on Parks, Enterprise Services, and Culture and the Arts. Councilmember Okimoto.
Thank you, Chair. CR 139, I move that Committee Report C-139 be adopted.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Councilmember Okimoto for the explanation.
Thank you, Chair. Recommendations on the review and evaluation of the Commission on Culture and the Arts pursuant to Ordinance 17-44.
Thank you very much. Mr. Clerk, do we have any testifiers?
Mr. Chair, we have none.
Thank you. Members, we're in discussion.
Chair.
Councilmember Tupola.
Thank you so much, Chair. On page 4, I just wanted to make mention, we spoke about this in Parks Committee, about the Mayor's Production Grant Program, and in here it says that unfortunately the program was closed in 2018. I did speak with DCS, and they do actually have $200,000 that they set aside, and it's in the GIA fund. So just wanted to make mention that to the director, and looking forward to working with the commission, because I do know that it said without this, it hinders the ability for the commission to operate. So we want to see them operate. We want to see more arts. So I'll try to see if they can't work that out this year so that we can activate those funds and put it towards a project. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any further discussion? By the way, members, we do have the Director of the Mayor's Office of Culture and the Arts present if anyone has any questions. Seeing no further discussion, any objections or reservations? Noting no objections or reservations, CR 139 has been adopted. Moving to the top of page 5, Vice Chair Kia Aina.
I move that Resolution 24-116 pass first reading.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Vice Chair Kia Aina for the explanation.
This resolution initiates amendments to the revised charter of the City and County of Honolulu, 1973, as amended relating to homelessness.
Thank you very much. I know we have 2 registered testifiers, starting with Jacob Wynick. Aloha, Jacob, nice to see you. Please proceed.
Thank you, Council Chair, Council members, for the opportunity to testify today. I appreciate that a homeless council is being considered for approval as part of our city charter. Homelessness is one of the most important issues we face in the city. And just today, the point in time count revealed that there are almost 5,000 homeless people across the state of Hawaii. Oftentimes when we hear from our public officials trying to address this issue, too many agencies and NGOs are working at cross purposes or duplicative efforts. It comes off as very disjointed. I hope that this homeless council being proposed as part of the charter would be able to bring more people together and have greater unity of effort so we can address homelessness. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Members, any questions for Mr. Wynick? Seeing none. Next, we have James Malaku. Aloha, Mr. Malaku. Thank you for being here.
Aloha. James K. Malaku Sr. we have two problems with our homeless, and we have to address them. One of them is the influx of homelessness we're getting from the mainland. We have to address that. We're getting too much of them. And the second is we have to address zoning. We're upzoning all of our areas too fast. Waianae is a good example. Waianae was a thriving agricultural, thriving community. Now we're turning into a tourist community. If you drive along our community today, you'll see a lot of activity, construction going on. They're building a lot of these monster homes all along our coastline, right across of our beaches. Yeah, we cannot afford those homes. So where will our people go? Yeah, so what can we do? We cannot do nothing. It's our politicians. Next week, they're going to be approving those homes, more so. They already talked about it last week. And then next week, they're going to be approving it. So why do we keep upzoning when it doesn't help us? So please consider that. Thank you.
Thank you. Members, any questions for Mr. Monaco? Seeing none, Mr. Clerk, do we have any other registered testifiers, either in person or remote?
Mr. Chair, there are no other registered testifiers. We have one person standing by remotely with their hand raised.
Okay, let's proceed. Looks like Angela Young.
Aloha, Committee of the City Council. Angela Melody Young testifying on behalf of chairs and in support of the initiating of amendments to the revised charter of the county. And as it relates to the Homeless Council, the public safety of the community is a pressing concern, and crime is an escalating problem which has affected our neighborhoods and schools. Domestic violence, substance abuse, disorderly conduct, destruction of property continues to plague our community. Crime and homelessness are interconnected issues affecting our communities. And the Honolulu Police Department is short-staffed and currently has 300 vacant positions. So I think it is a very good effort to organize the council, especially as Honolulu Police Department is the primary responder to emergencies such as homelessness and domestic abuse. And sometimes in certain emergencies, the police department, the ambulance, and the fire department are dispatched together to the scene of the crime. This is costly city resources. So I think having the council to try to help figure everything out will be a very diligent effort.
Thank you very much. Members, any questions for the testifier? Seeing none, members, we're in discussion. Councilmember Kia Aina.
Thank you, Chair. I will be voting for this for first reading, but I do have to share my concerns because I feel that, well, for two things. First, it's clear that we all want to establish a Department of Ocean Safety, and of course, we're dealing with both City Council salaries and the Salary Commission. And I find that the more charter questions that are on a ballot, a lot of times voters get confused. And because we do know that we want to have our Department of Ocean Safety, I guess I think there's a higher likelihood of certain questions prevailing. And if we keep on adding questions, then I guess I'm concerned about those measures. Second, both within the city and the state, both the mayor and the governor have mechanisms in place right now. I mean, we're going to have a merging of Department of Land Management with Housing. We have homeless coordinators for the governor and the mayor at any time, and the mayor had done that already. They pulled together a coordinating group. So for me, I I'm hesitant to always look for amending the charter for something that is already being addressed. And so that's my only concern. I think this could be a potential bureaucratic hurdle. And I feel that the issue of homelessness is tough as it is. And we should be supporting as much as possible with the appropriate funding and policies in place for both our, our partners, our nonprofit partners, as well as our state and city programs. So that was my mana'o. So we're voting aye, but have grave concerns when it goes to committee.
Thank you very much. Any further discussion? Councilmember Tupola.
Thanks so much, Chair. Mahalo for those thoughts that were shared. I also will be voting up on this. I was grateful that the mayor's team invited me to their homeless working group because they've kind of mentioned it to us, but I didn't know who it consisted of, when they meet. So I actually went to the meeting last week, and it was interesting because there were certain departments there, not all. I thought maybe this could actually fit in what they're doing and maybe not be a formal advisory committee, but I think that this commission or Solutions Advisory Council needs to advise someone. So they either need to advise DCS, they need to advise housing, or they need to advise the homeless working group. But this could possibly be done without changing the charter. I did think that community input in that meeting would be good, but my biggest suggestion in that meeting was we have to have district homeless plans because our resources are vastly different from one district to another, and also our homeless populations are different. So I see on here that there's 9 people, 5 from the council and 4 from the mayor, but I think actually it'd be cool to have 9 people that are representative of our districts that can kind of speak to the types of problems that we have within our homeless populations, and then that can kind of advise the working group, because that would give them good insight instead of circling around just the urban dense areas, to kind of understand how other areas might need either more housing, more transitional, and kind of have a comprehensive approach. But definitely am very vested in this conversation. Just don't know if this is the vehicle, but thank the introducers for bringing this forward. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Members, any further discussion? Councilmember Okimoto.
Thank you, Chair. So grateful for the discussion that we're having. The co-introducer myself, Councilmember Wire, brought this together. We really had the intent, which was to address our really severe homelessness issue, and thankful for the testifiers who came today. I definitely am one who does not like layers and layers of bureaucracy, so I understand Vice Chair's sentiments in that regard. But I do think that with the severe concerns that we have, this is a great vehicle. And I agree with Councilmember Tupola. Had it my way, I think we would have had all 9 of our districts have a representative. But I think we can do so with the input. As many of us sitting here, probably, I have many who come to me and they're vested in having their voices heard, and they have really great insight and input. So the purpose of this resolution, again, this vehicle, is to allow the voices of the people heard. We can have a vast amount of expertise and experience. If you looked at it at the resolution, we are even looking for one person specifically who came from that environment and now is going to be able to give input, so that we can know we're sitting here, we're making decisions, but what can we do, getting all of the information. And I think that's what the purpose of this commission is. So I'm looking forward to the discussion. I'm grateful for what we've heard so far today. Hopefully we can continue and move this forward. And I put the trust in the voters. I think this is something that, while other items on the ballot may be a little confusing, I don't see this as one of them. And as much as the ocean safety is importance to the community, I really believe that so is our homelessness population and the need that we need to do to provide them with the resources that are out there. So thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Councilmember Wire.
Thank you, Chair. And, I would echo sentiments of my colleague, Councilmember Okimoto. And I'm definitely open to ideas for amendments about how, an appointment process could work if we want to, expand on it or change who's appointed. But I think for me, at the end of the day, it's, do we know how to solve homelessness? We do. Are we doing what we need to do? No. I mean, I think a lot of folks are working super hard across multiple departments, but even just kind of the policy framework that we approach homelessness, right? Talk to one person and it's within public safety. talk to someone else and it's within housing, talk to someone else and it's within, mental health issues or, overlaps with a whole lot of different ideas. And I know we've had multiple people, multiple providers before this council in committee, in info briefings, in discussions, very clearly laying out what the exact need is. And so I think just elevating the discussion and bringing folks that are experts in this area, whether it's providers that are experts in each district, as Councilmember Topola mentioned, someone from each of the 9 districts, or whether it's identifying folks in the community that are doing great work already that can provide, I think, an elevated voice for what the needs are, right? Because we have so much going into our housing policy that I think is amazing, and so much that's going into the work that DCS does, that's responding to homelessness, right? But when we're looking at across the board city policy and pushing us in the direction that we need to go, I think that there's just usefulness in providing that space, especially since we don't have, I know we do have a homeless coordinator in DCS right now, which I'm extremely grateful and think that they're doing great work. So I don't want it to seem like I'm not. But I think I'm more just talking about, the structural issues that we're facing, recognizing that there's not a policy lead in the MDO's office at the moment. Again, not detracting from any of the work that's going on because there's so much that goes into it. But I do think that there's value in providing the space for experts in this particular field to kind of shape and direct city policy in a greater way than they're able to now. And I think voters are smart enough to handle, the handful of ballot questions that we're going to have. But appreciate the feedback. So just wanted to share that. Mahalo.
Thank you. Any further discussion, members? Seeing none, roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Councilmember Cordero, Councilmember Dos Santos Tam.
Aye.
Councilmember Kia Aina.
Aye.
Councilmember Okimoto.
Aye.
Councilmember Say. Councilmember Talba.
Aye.
Councilmember Tupola.
Aye.
Councilmember Wire.
Aye.
Chair Waters.
Aye.
Mr. Chair, there are 8 ayes, 1 member is absent.
Thank you. Resolution 24-116 has passed first reading. Vice Chair Kia Aina.
I move that Resolution 24-132 pass first reading.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded. Vice Chair Kia Aina for the explanation.
This resolution initiates amendments to the revised charter of the City and County of Honolulu 1973 as amended relating to the Salary Commission.
Thank you very much. Mr. Clerk, do we have any registered testifiers?
Mr. Chair, we have none.
Thank you. Is there any unregistered testifiers in the audience that'd like to testify? Please come forward. Aloha. Good morning.
Good morning. Morning, everybody. Thank you for your hard work, first off. My name is Walin Christian. Many of you know me already. I've been here quite a few times. After the first reading, I really thought about this increase. I know a lot of the positions, I looked it over, and a lot of the positions are actually appointed and not elected. There are a few elected on there, of course, with the major ones that we know. The only problem I have right now, in light of what has happened in the last 2 weeks, is, and I'm sure all of you have seen it, is what went on social media with the mayor addressing the community in Nanakuli area. A lot of people took that as a frame of, okay, we're going to be vigilantes, because he said, take back your community and take care of it yourself, because we are short-handed. So then if that is the issue really, then the issue is, what are we doing to increase our police officers and our first responders? This increase shouldn't be going to the heads of it. I understand what Salary Commission was saying, that they need to be equivalent to, I think it's EMO 8. Well, we can't do that if our officers and all of our first responders are not getting paid enough and they're not gonna work that job. So that's where the root is. We need to get more people in. We need to get people on the ground level so that they can fight for the community, they can go out there and address the situations that we have. As far as the salary increase, they got, I'm sorry, that was city council. Everybody got a salary increase last year, including the mayor, and I believe it was 4%, correct me if I'm wrong. Now there's an additional recommendation of 3.59%. I'm looking at the mayor only based off of what he said at a public meeting, telling the people, why don't you guys take care of your own community? That wasn't his exact words, but that is what the people heard. So we need to look at that, and we need to really, if I'm going too far with this, forgive me, but I think that needs to be, as city council members, that you folks can say, no, we're not gonna go down that road this time. Because what you guys really need to fix is the issue of hiring more police officers, EMS. I think right now I'm looking more at police officers because they are the ones that go out there and address issues for the community. And so that's what I think we need to do. I know that's what a lot of people think they need to do. I did go to my neighborhood board meeting, which I am now a member of it for our district, which I live on Kuakini Street. All of you have told that. I didn't get a chance to talk to Tyler yet, but definitely will. I went to the meeting yesterday. Thank you for that, for the Beetle meeting at Kapalama. That's what we need to do. We need to reach out more to the community and find out what they want. I'm gonna tell you guys, your job is really hard because of that 64% raise you guys took last year, minus the 3 that refused it. People are still stuck on that, and they will be stuck on that. So coming at it again, then very next year with a 3.59%, some of them, I spoke on the numbers the last time, 4%. I mean, the numbers varied. People are gonna be even more angry. Address the issues of what the people have concerns with, and that is our police force, number one. You know, I have a lot of friends who are there. They don't get paid enough in my book. They really don't. And they deal with a lot more now with body cams. And, you know, we were talking about homeless earlier, and I'm so sorry I'm going over. Our homeless issue in our Kalihi area is really bad, really bad. I live right by Liliuokalani Stream, and they're constantly under there late at night, and you can hear them. There's so many issues we have to deal with. Salaries for city officials need to be the last on the list. Let's deal with our issues first. Because when you get that resolved, then people are gonna say, oh, they're doing their job, they're going over and beyond. Then there'll be more receiving of saying, oh, we're gonna give them a 3%, 2%, whatever it may be. Thank you.
Excuse me, thank you. Members, any questions for the testifier? Seeing none, I see Mr. Monaco making his way up to the microphone. Please proceed.
Yes, thank you. What a beautiful testimony. I've been saying this for years. Our police force are way, way too less. You know, you folks have been approving so much development, but not enough infrastructure. Yeah? That's what we need. We need the infrastructure for protection. Look at Waianae. People stabbing people, shooting people. Where's our help? Yeah? Now, you guys like raise? Give us more than a minute. You know the people that fought for this thing that you folks got for? I don't think they fought for us for speak for 1 minute. You know that? Come on, gang. They never fought for our right to speak to you folks for 1 minute. Check things and give investors and developers more time than us people here that pay you guys salaries? Come on, gang. We deserve more than that. And then we deserve more protection in our community. So when people come up to you for help, they want to invest in our community, make sure they invest in our protection as well, please. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Monaco, members? Seeing none. Members, we're in discussion. Oh, I see that there's a hands up from Angela Young. Please proceed.
Aloha City Council, Angela Melody Young, testifying on behalf of CARES in support of the initiating of the charter amendments for the Salary Commission. According to the revised charter, section 3-122, the Salary Commission is an independently functioning commission which goes through the salaries and it is very neutral and it goes through facts and resolutions based on the charter amendments. So I'm in full support. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further testifiers, Mr. Clerk?
Mr. Chair, we have none.
Members, we're in discussion. Councilmember Tolba?
Chair, I'm just want to, Resolution 124 and 132 and 133, just some additional ideas regarding the Salary Commission so that we can discuss openly. For 132, would have the salaries go in effect after the next general election, and then 133 addresses the concern about how Salary Commission members are selected, since that has been the concern for the community members. That's it.
Thank you very much. Members, any further discussion? Seeing none, roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Councilmember Cordero?
Aye.
Councilmember Dos Santos Tam?
Aye.
Councilmember Kia Aina?
Aye.
Councilmember Okimoto?
Aye.
Councilmember Say? Councilmember Tolba?
Aye.
Councilmember Tupola?
Aye.
Councilmember Wire?
Aye.
Chair Waters?
Aye.
Mr. Chair, there are 9 ayes.
Thank you very much. Resolution 24-132 has passed first reading. Moving to the top of page 6, Vice Chair Kia Aina.
I move that Resolution 24-133 pass first reading.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded. Vice Chair Kia Aina for the explanation.
This resolution also initiates amendments to the revised charter of the City and County of Honolulu 1973, as amended, relating to the Salary Commission.
Thank you very much. Mr. Clerk, do we have any testifiers?
Mr. Chair, we have none.
Thank you. Members, we're in discussion. Councilmember Tolba, you want to incorporate your comments from the previous?
So 133 just addresses the concern about how the Salary Commission members are selected, since there's been a concern for the community members. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Councilmember Tupola.
Thank you, Chair. I want to thank the introducer for this one. I just want to make a brief comment because I actually thought this was pretty original. We kind of toyed with the idea in committee, but no one had formally proposed it. But I think this would be successful in 2 aspects. It would separate the conflict of interest and also provide equality for the districts by having someone from each. Not to bring up the same thing that we just talked about with homelessness, but truly each of our districts has a different demographic, a different socioeconomic demographic, and the public has persistently expressed their concern over this Salary Commission process and who's on the commission. The Salary Commission is responsible for evaluating our performance and justifying a fair rate of compensation. The council and the mayor shouldn't be involved in the selection process for the members. And by doing that, it actually clouds the integrity of governmental systems to the public. And this would achieve what I think yourself and many of us want to do, which is separate ourselves out from anything that's decided there so that we're not a part of those decisions. The city clerk selecting the members of the commission from a list of voters further adds impartiality and removes any control that we or the mayor might possess. The commission is commonly composed of high-level professionals who are H managers and system administrators. Though these individuals are undoubtedly valuable, the commission should also be composed of members of our society who have less experience and have a better, proper cross-section of society. To further diversify this in the commission, each council district would be recognized with a representative member, and this would bring in all of our living experiences into the decision-making. I definitely think that this is one of the ideas that we should incorporate into our final decision, and I want to thank the introducer for bringing it forward in a proposal format. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any further discussion, members? Councilmember Wire.
Thank you, Chair. I actually do really appreciate the idea as well for 24-133. But just given the conversation we've been having, I know we have so many charter amendments. I just wanted to use the opportunity to kind of sift through after reflecting on, these that have come through, that I think I'm starting to see that, maybe we should be looking towards our neighbor island counties to see how that they do this process, because I don't think, Oahu necessarily always knows best. I mean, we're all learning from each other. And so I think our community, of course, informs our individual decisions on how we vote. But I think it's important to maybe look at how the policy is approached by other jurisdictions, because, you know, with all the growing number of charter amendments, you know, I appreciate the opportunity to participate in the conversation at council, but I think the bulk of what we're talking about when we're out with our community are, of course, homelessness, the housing crisis, you know, the landfills has come up, and landfill siting is important, filling these vacancies. And so just wanted to share that because I appreciate all the different ideas coming in, and hopefully we come out with you know, a policy that generally the community supports. But I also at the same time don't want to spend all my time talking about salary when we have a whole commission that's tasked with that, and we have actual community members reaching out with actual needs that we're trying to address. And so just, you know, wanted to kind of share my thoughts if they've been evolving based on conversations with the community and conversations with our colleagues. Mahalo.
Thank you. Any further discussion, members? Councilmember Okimoto.
Thank you, Chair. I'm grateful again for this discussion as well. And I think, you know, we'll get to the other resolutions that are on the agenda, but I have to agree that my intent, even from last year with the resolution that I introduced, was to do what we were talking about, to remove us. The Salary Commission was voted on by the voters and was put into place. And after our last meeting, I really went back and I tried to think of how I could then amend the resolution that I had introduced last year, because my goal was to focus on what we need to focus on and remove ourselves from the process. And so while I do appreciate, I think some of these ideas are great, I feel like we're getting too much into the weeds. And to me, I agree with Councilmember Wire. We have so many other things that we're dealing with every day. We've stated our stances, we understand the process, we know what the goal is. And so I guess I would just put a plug in again that the more we can remove ourselves from this process, it's not a form of not being transparent. This is a very transparent process. The commission meets, it's public, you can go and testify there. These things are going through, you know, multiple readings, but my concern is that we are spending a lot of time and we're getting really deep into details after details, when really what we should do is entrust the decision-making with the commission. And later on, when we do get to the resolution that I introduced, again, it's not to remove us from any type of responsibility, but remove us from the process so that it's not a political ploy on anything. We are not touching it. The commission does their research, they do their data, and it's based on the information that they do have and receive, and then that's it. And we are doing our jobs, which is what the testifiers have stated today. Every one of us in our districts, we're dealing with multiple concerns on a daily basis, and we want to be able to focus on that. I know I do. So again, I appreciate the continued discussion, but just me personally, I did have to take a step back, and after talking with my advisors, remove myself again from the situation, because we want to make sure that the process stays true to how it was designed when it went to the charter years ago and to the ballots, and the commission was placed, and to me, that's what it should do. And again, the resolution that I introduced was to kind of model after what the other counties are doing. I have stated in the past that we are a unique island here. We have a different county. But in this case, there is some value in modeling after what the other counties are doing, where they're not having the same issues that we are experiencing here. So thank you for letting me share that. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Councilmember Kia Aina.
Thank you, Chair. I will be voting in support of this passing out first reading. I do know there are a multitude of other bills relating to the Salary Commission that will be going for second reading. So I'm hoping that at the next committee hearing, all of these bills will be calendared, and based on our previous discussion in committee, I do plan on looking at the various elements of all of the bills and putting together my own proposal as an amendment to one of the vehicles. And I'm just assuming, I'm hoping that out of that hearing, we will have a product. Everyone is more than welcome to offer their amendments, but we will have a product that would go to the full council for final reading. So I do appreciate Councilmember Toba to put out 2 more ideas because it's on top of all of the other ideas that have already been put forth. And if anyone wants to add his elements to their list of amendments to a moving vehicle, then they should do so. So I will be planning for that hearing. Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much, and thank you, members, for the lively discussion. As mentioned, we have a number of bills on second reading dealing with the same thing. The intent is to schedule a executive matters committee meeting and have them all on there. And I do want to encourage you all, if you do have amendments, to get that in as soon as possible. Okay, thank you very much. Seeing no further discussion, roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Councilmember Cordero?
Aye.
Councilmember Dos Santos Tam?
Aye.
Councilmember Kia Aina?
Aye.
Councilmember Okimoto?
Aye.
Councilmember Say? Councilmember Talba?
Aye.
Councilmember Tupola?
Aye.
Councilmember Wire?
Aye.
Chair Waters?
Aye.
Mr. Chair, there are 9 ayes.
Thank you. Resolution 24-133 has passed first reading. Moving to the bottom of page 6, Vice Chair Kia Aina, first reading measures.
I move that the first reading items listed on pages 6 to 10 pass first reading.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Vice Chair Kia Aina for the explanation.
Bill
Can you-
25 relates to license fees, repealing an outdated ordinance related to license fees. Bill 26 relates to Honor Our Kupuna Month. It designates the month of May as Honor Our Kupuna Month to recognize and honor the great wisdom, generational knowledge, and substantial contributions of the beloved kupuna of Oahu. Bill 27 relates to the real property tax exemption. It extends the time period that owners of real property may vacate their home because the home has been damaged or destroyed by fire while continuing to be entitled to a real property tax home exemption. Bill 28 relates to real property taxation, addresses the real property tax exemptions. Bill 29 relates to Halloween, designates the last Saturday of October as Halloween Celebration Day, establishing an orderly celebration of Halloween by children and adults, and promoting the safety of the residents of the city. Bill 30 relates to real property taxation, establishing a real property tax exemption for certain real property owned by the state of Hawaii. Bill 31 relates to pre-construction financing for affordable rental housing. Bill 32 relates to non-discrimination policy. It makes revisions to the city's non-discrimination policy applicable to employment and the provision of services.
Thank you very much. Members, I'm going to take the bills one by one and for testimony purposes, and then we'll have our discussion. Starting with Bill 25 on page 6 relating to license fees. Any registered or unregistered testifiers, Mr. Clerk?
Mr. Chair, we have none.
Thank you. Moving to page 7, Bill 26. Mr. Clerk, any testifiers?
Mr. Chair, there are none.
Thank you. Bill 27, any testifiers?
Mr. Chair, there are none.
Thank you. Moving to page 8, Bill 28, real property taxation.
Mr. Chair, there are none.
Thank you. Moving to the bottom of page 8, Bill 29, I note that our Patrick McPherson has registered to testify, and I see him making his way to the podium. Aloha, Mr. McPherson. Nice to see you. Please proceed.
Aloha. Good morning, council members. The reason, I actually met with some people and proposed this bill, and the reason for it is Halloween is a disaster if you try to have trick-or-treat night on the same night as Halloween. Last year in Akahi, I literally pulled a kid out of the way of a cart, and the person was merely trying to get home from work. There's many kids in the street, and if we change that portion of Halloween, just the trick-or-treat portion of Halloween, to the last Saturday of October, we can make it safer. We all know what it's like to try to go home at 5 o'clock in the evening on any of the freeways, any of the roads here. It's a mess. Trying to get home, to get your kids dressed, to get them out, to get ready to trick or treat means either you have to leave early from work or you start much later because it takes that much longer, especially people who live on the west side. So this sanctioned event, because the city and county sanctions this event, they said you can trick or treat from 5 to 9 on this day. What difference does it make if it's on Halloween or Saturday? I'm sorry. But Saturday, we don't have to rush home. Most people don't work Saturday. People will be able to be there already for their children. And the other thing that is important to note is teachers hate November 1st. They really do. They hate teaching that day because the kids are just not their normal selves. They're up late, they're sugar high, they're coming down off of it. It is the worst day of the year for teachers. If it's Sunday, those kids are home and the teachers don't have to deal with that. This is simply a resolution to enable people to live this holiday out and this experience in a much safer way. Plus, we could get it sponsored. I've talked to people about Hershey, Target, somebody else sponsoring the event, because if we have sponsor money, we can hire extra police officers who can be on the streets to assist us to make sure that the children don't get hurt. So it's really about a safety issue and not necessarily taking away the holiday from the day. If you want to celebrate Halloween on Halloween, go ahead. But if we can change this trick-or-treating to a Saturday, we can make it a better, safer experience for parents and children and everybody else that's driving at that time, because nobody wants to drive through a neighborhood with 5,000 trick-or-treaters in Akahi trying to get home at 6 o'clock to do what you need to do in that evening and try to weave your way through these kids, because nobody wants to hurt a child. And that's what it's really all about.
Thank you very much. Members, any questions for Mr. McPherson? Today or of Halloween? Good to know. Thank you. Any further testifiers? I see Angela Melody Young. Please proceed.
Aloha, City Council, Angela Melody Young, testifying on behalf of CARES. So in strong support and matching the theme, I'm Wicked from the Wicked Witch of the West. Okay, so Halloween is celebrated each year, which occurs on October 31st. And the tradition originated with the Celtic festival, when people would light bonfires and wear costumes to ward off ghosts and demons. In the 8th century, Pope Gregory III designated November 1st as a time to honor All Saints. Soon, All Saints' Day incorporated some of the traditions of the Celtic holiday. Over time, Halloween has evolved into activities like trick-or-treating, carving jack-o'-lanterns, festive gatherings, and eating treats. So prior to the holiday becoming a modern celebration, there were not a lot of public safety issues, but I think nowadays, in modern times, Halloween is very chaotic, and it can be managed with public safety initiatives such as Neighborhood Security Walk. Kapunas get active with kikis, and then they go trick-or-treating. And with governance from this proposal of Bill 29, it will help to manage concerns of overcrowding and loud music. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any questions for the testifier? Seeing none. Mr. Clerk, do we have any other testifiers?
Good morning again. I think this should be taken to the people. I don't celebrate Halloween myself. It's been a tradition, it's been culture, it's been history. I understand the gentleman's concern with safety, but there are people who work on Saturdays. We live in Hawaii. People are working 6 days a week. It's got to come to something. My issue is the history of it. So if you guys are going to be able to change Halloween, what's to say you guys cannot change Christmas? What's to say you guys cannot change Easter? What's to say that you guys cannot change another holiday? So now the people are saying, well, now you guys have control of our holidays. That should be voted on by the people. That's all I say. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further testifiers, Mr. Clerk?
Mr. Chair, we have none.
Thank you. Moving to page 9, Bill 30. Any testifiers?
Mr. Chair, we have none.
Okay, Bill 31.
Mr. Chair, we had one registered testifier, though the person is not logged on.
Gina Thielen? Is Gina Thielen
Yes, sir.
here? No. Okay. Next, we have Bill 32 on page 10. Is Denise?
Yes, we have Ms. Tsukayama logged on.
Please proceed.
Good morning. Denise Sukayama, City and County Equal Opportunity Administrator. On behalf of the Department of Human Resources, we'd like to ask that Bill 32 be approved. And this bill is intended to update the city's non-discrimination policy to align with all current federal and state statutes relevant to employment and provision of services. So taking I think about 10 protected categories that are currently listed in the protections under Article 1-11 and now updating it to include the more than 20 protected categories currently under law. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Members, any questions for Ms. Tsukayama? Seeing none. Thank you, members. We're in discussion on all measures. Councilmember Dos Santos Tam.
Thank you, Chair. I'll make comments about two of the bills, the first being Bill 25. This is one of several that I'm introducing that deals with outdated ordinances. A lot of the explanations are in the recitals at the beginning, but you know, we live in a modern society. Our ordinances should reflect that. I wish that for a lot of these we could package them up, but we're told and advised that it's best to separate them out. So there's going to be several of these coming down the pipeline dealing with outdated ordinances. The second is just a comment on Bill 29. I appreciate the intent, but we have, you know, a lot of other spookier and scarier issues facing us, whether that's, you know, our housing crisis, the proliferation of illegal vacation rentals and monster homes or game room, you know, issues. And I think that we need to hold ourselves accountable to dealing with those issues as well with some degree of urgency. I think that it's true that we can walk and chew gum at the same time, but I want to make sure that we collectively hold ourselves accountable to moving forward on these big picture issues as well in a timely way, because I think that that's what the public expects from all of us. So thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Tupola.
Thank you, Chair. Just three comments. First, on Bill 25, I just want to thank the introducer for spending the time to do some of these cleanup ordinances. Truly, some of the fees are, especially throughout, are very nominal because they might have been created in the 70s, maybe early 60s. So I thank him for the time he spent doing that. On Bill 29, I do also appreciate the intent and the conversation about safety on Halloween. But I think, you know, to the comments of the testifier, I think we could be almost proposing that we're in charge of Halloween, and I think we need to not be in charge of anything more than what we're in charge of. I will say that Laie and Kahuku, every time Halloween falls on a Sunday, they tell the whole community they're gonna have it on Saturday instead of Sunday, and everyone does it. So I think community by community, people can make decisions about safety, they can work as neighborhoods, and I would agree that actually there are a lot of people that work on the weekends, and there's still a lot of traffic going on, whether or not it's weekday or weekend. So lastly, with Bill 31, I'm really excited that we're handling small bits of what can make affordable housing more affordable. And if being able to allow for financing with affordable housing funds is pre-construction and can help the project to get off the ground, then we truly are going to be able to meet our goals quicker and faster. So thank you to both of the introducers of that as well. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. Members, Councilmember Cordero.
Thank you, Chair. I just have a comment relating to Bill 29 relating to Halloween. At first, I didn't get a lot of comments from my constituents. A lot of the times, it's either celebrated either at our churches or in the community, but it doesn't matter on what day. And I do want to reflect the comments of the constituent Malin there, and I feel the same. I just want to state that and say that this is also not the forum to take that up. There's many other forums that we can address this within our communities as well, so that we can address safety at where our community needs it. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Councilmember Kia Aina.
Thank you, Chair. I have items on three bills. First, Bill 37 relating to the real property tax home exemption for those families who experienced fire. I just wanted to let the DPP director know that I will probably, when this bill moves forward, also be looking at how we can prioritize families who have been impacted to have a priority in the permitting process, because a lot of them are ready to go, and yet it's going to take a long time for them to move, given the backlog that the department has. So I just wanted to let you know about that. As it relates to Bill 29, I will be opposing this measure. I do understand the concerns, but I don't believe this is the appropriate forum. In fact, I think that this should be, if it's so important, first of all, I have not heard a peep from my district at any of the neighborhood boards. No one has ever brought it up to me. It's more appropriate to be brought up any neighborhood board and see if there's groundswell of support. I share the concerns by the previous testifier as well as my colleagues that then when do we stop? We have a big 4th of July parade in Kailua, and very often it's smack in the middle of the week. I mean, when do you start changing dates, right? For holidays. So gravely concerned about that. And I think that people have acclimated to the fact that whether it be this holiday or other holidays, whatever it is, we respect it. So, and Bill 31 relating to the pre-construction financing for affordable housing. Thank you, Councilmember Say. I do support this, but I do have concerns about the use of the Affordable Housing Fund for these grants, and I would prefer to use the same source of funding as the post-construction grants, and will likely introduce a proposed CD to be considered in committee. As you know, during consideration of the budget on Monday, we just restored full funding for that program in the administration's budget, and I expect that once Bill 31 hopefully gets enacted into law, that the pre-construction grants would probably utilize those funds even more than the post-construction grants. So that's all I have to say, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Councilmember Okimoto.
Thank you, Chair. Regarding Bill 29, I'd like to also just voice my appreciation for those who came and testified. As a matter of principle, and I normally don't really speak up on first reading bills, but this one I thought would be important because as a matter of principle, I don't think that we should be over legislating things like this. As Vice Chair Kaina stated, this is not something that's ever been brought to my attention. And as a former teacher and a parent, I think we just kind of understand that Halloween is going to be this way and we appropriately schedule that way. I would hate that we start getting into telling parents and communities how we should then parent their families. And so because, as I stated and others have stated, we have a lot of other things to pursue at this time in dealing with the city's concerns. I do have concerns with this bill and understanding the sentiments shared, but as a matter of principle, I will be voting no on this bill at this time. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. Any further discussion, members? Seeing none.
Chair.
I'm sorry, Councilmember Wire.
Yeah, no, I just appreciate the conversation. I'm okay. I have no problem. I don't know what your inclination on Bill 29 is, but ultimately I just see it as the city just encouraging folks like, hey, go celebrate on Saturday. So I don't see it as particularly problematic, and to the extent that it comes up in the community and folks ask, or the media asks about it, like just in terms of responsibly conveying what legislation says. I mean, that's ultimately what I'd be sharing, but I haven't gotten any feedback in the community about it. And unless I'm misreading, I just see it as saying like, hey folks, like city encourages you to do it on Saturday instead of a weekday, but appreciate the discussion.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Thank you, members. I'm the introducer of Bill 29. We are the marketplace of ideas. Mr. McPherson actually came to me and asked me to look into this. I found through our research that October 31st has 2 times more pedestrian fatalities nationwide compared to the same time, compared to if it's held on the other parts of the week. There's an 11% increase in fatality rates when Halloween takes place on a weekday compared to a weekend. But I understand, members. Please vote your conscience. Having said that, Any objections or reservations? Noting on Bill 29, we have a no from Councilmember Kiaina, a no from Councilmember Okimoto,
No.
no from Councilmember Tolba,
No.
no from Councilmember Cordero,
No.
and a no from Councilmember Tupola. Okay, any others? Bill 25, 26, 27, 28, 30, 31, or 32? Okay. The first reading items on page 6 to 10 of the agenda have passed first reading with the exception of Bill 29. Okay, thank you, members. Let's move now to page 11 from the Committee on Zoning. Councilmember Say.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. I move that Committee Report 129 be adopted and Bill 52 of 2023, Committee Draft 1, as amended, pass second reading.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Councilmember Say for the explanation.
It establishes increased civil fines of $25,000 as the initial fine and $10,000 per day for each day the violation persists. For violations involving the construction or conversion of a structure in violations of Revised Ordinance Section 21-3.70-1, subsection C, subsection 3, relating to large detached dwellings.
Thank you very much. Mr. Clerk, do we have any registered testifiers?
Mr. Chair, we have none.
Thank you. Do we have any unregistered testifiers?
Mr. Chair, we have none.
Thank you. Members, we're in discussion. Seeing none, roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Councilmember Cordero? Councilmember Dos Santos Tam?
Aye.
Councilmember Kiaina?
Aye.
Councilmember Okimoto?
Aye.
Councilmember Say?
Aye.
Councilmember Talba?
Aye.
Councilmember Tupola?
Aye.
Councilmember Wire?
Aye.
Chair Waters?
Aye.
Mr. Chair, there are 8 ayes, 1 member is absent.
Thank you. CR 129 has been adopted, and Bill 52, 2023, CD1 has passed second reading. Councilmember Say.
Thank you. Mr. Chair, I move that Committee Report number 130 be adopted and Bill 53 of 2023, Committee Draft 1, as amended, pass second reading.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Councilmember Say for the explanation.
It basically updates the initial and renewal registration application for B&Bs and TVUs with respect to documentation needed to satisfy certain requirements. We grant the Director of Planning and Permitting discretion in determining whether certain items need to be submitted as part of the renewal registration application. Updates restrictions on and operating standards for B&Bs and TVUs. Provides that any change in ownership of the subject property or change in the operator of the B&B or TVU will require a new registration for the B&B or the TVU. Moves the fees for initial and renewal registration applications for B&Bs and TVUs into Chapter 6, Article 41, Revised Ordinance of Honolulu 2021.
Thank you very much. I note that we have Michael Hay registered to testify. Mr. Clerk, is Michael Hay available?
Yes, hi, Chair Waters and everybody. I'm sorry, I was waiting for my turn. I'll be much less than a minute. And first, should I go ahead, Chair Waters?
Yes, please proceed.
Okay. First of all, I'll be much less than a minute, and it's really nice to see all of you again and see you in action. My name is Michael Hay. I'm one of the directors with the Oahu Short-Term Rental Alliance, or OSTRA, and we've had the privilege of meeting with all of you already. We represent thousands of residents who own, manage, and work within the legal mid and short-term rental industry, and we strongly support Bill 53. We think it's great. We appreciate the collaborative work of the Zoning Committee Chair and his staff and the DPP to propose this bill, streamlining the TVU registration and renewal process. These changes will lessen the workload for the DPP and encourage more TVU owners to register. This legislation is a positive step forward, demonstrating the county's commitment to working alongside the community for the benefit of all. Mahalo, everyone.
Thank you. Any questions for the testifier? Seeing none. Mr. Clerk, do we have any other testifiers?
Mr. Chair, we have none.
Thank you. Members, we're in discussion. Councilmember Tupola.
Thank you so much. I want to thank the Chair of Zoning for taking this up, and also for the Director of DPP for parsing out all of the things that we think could make it easier for people to legally register. I do want to continue to work with them, as we kind of mentioned in the committee hearing, whether or not bylaws would be able to be accepted to prove that they are able to legally register as STRs in that particular zone. We've heard both sides. They want it, they don't want it. So I still want to make it as easy as possible. I think one of the things that they decided was that it would only be upon by request from the department, which would take a lot of the workload out, meaning if there was a citation or a inquiry, then department could request the applicable documents, which I think is a good step forward. So thank you to all who have been participating for a long time to see this get through, and thank you to the zoning chair.
Thank you. Members, any further discussion? Seeing none, roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Councilmember Cordero?
Aye.
Councilmember Dos Santos Tam?
Aye.
Councilmember Kia Aina?
Aye.
Councilmember Okimoto?
Aye.
Councilmember Say? Councilmember Talba? Councilmember Tupola?
Aye.
Councilmember Wire?
Aye.
Chair Waters?
Aye.
Mr. Chair, there are 9 ayes.
Thank you. CR 130 has been adopted, and Bill 53, 2023, CD1 has passed second reading. Moving to the top of page 12, Councilmember Say.
Mr. Chair, I move that Committee Report Number 131 be adopted and Bill 3 of 2024, Committee Draft 1 as amended, pass second reading.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Councilmember Say for the explanation.
This particular measure amends the revised ordinance of Honolulu, Chapter 32, Article 4, by clarifying that the grants issued on the ROA Chapter 32, Article 4, are post-construction grants, clarifying and updating the criteria for eligibility for the post-construction grants, and the amount of the grant an owner of a zoning lot on which is situated an affordable housing project is eligible to receive. We updated the application requirements for the post-construction grants, clarifying and updating the process by which the Department of Planning and Permitting and the Department of Budget and Fiscal Services must process and award the grant to eligible owners, clarifying and updating the process by which an owner who receives the grant may be subject to certain penalties and the enforcement of those penalties on the owner by DPP, and updating the reporting requirements and frequency of submission of those reporting requirements every 3 years by the Department of Planning and Permitting to the City Council. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Clerk, I see we have Gina Thielen registered to testify on Bill 3. Is the testifier available, Mr. Clerk?
Aloha, Chair Waters, Vice Chair Kia Aina, and members of the council. My name is Gina Thielen, and I'm sorry, I just stepped out of my doctor's office and logged into this meeting. So is this Bill 3 or Bill 31?
Bill 3.
Very well, okay. I'm here to testify in support of Bill 3 with some particular comments. Specifically, we're very concerned about the 300 square foot minimum requirement, as many of our projects, including one that is fully occupied and finished, have had units that are in high demand that are smaller than this. We did not build these units to a smaller size for any specific financial gain. The fact of the matter is that on smaller lots, in order to maintain a 3-story walk-up, there's no way to achieve unit sizes at 300 square foot plus. We would have to go to a 4th floor, which is neither economically viable or something that we really think is going to be in long-term demand, that people are not going to walk up 4 flights of stairs. So I think that the 300 square foot requirement is problematic, and I provided a detailed analysis in my written testimony to that effect. I also would just like to say that I think that Bill 31 is incredibly important to the success of Bill 3. These two measures go together. They're like salt and pepper. You're only going to have half the seasonings you need without both of them. Thank you. That concludes my testimony, and I'm available for any questions.
Thank you very much. Members, any questions? Seeing none, thank you for your testimony. Mr. Clerk, do we have any other testifiers?
Mr. Chair, one person in the chamber.
Please proceed.
Aloha, Angela Melody Young, testifying on behalf of CARES in strong support of Bill 3. So as a concerned citizen of the criteria of eligibility, I think it should be discussed with the state. And also, CARES wants to raise up the concern that grants issued post-construction should be discussed with the HHFDC and the Hawaii Public Housing Authority. And although I've never been in an official meeting with those offices at the state, I do testify on a public platform to raise up concerns as a concerned citizen. So this is my concern, that within the legislating of this policy, that it should perhaps include consultation from HHFDC and Hawaii Public Housing Authority and the Office of Planning and Sustainable Development, which oversees coastal zone management, environmental review, GIS, Land Use Commission, and the statewide sustainability program, special plans branch, and transient-oriented development program, especially if the goal is to create a strategic plan for affordable housing projects in concert with the city and the state. So Hawaii Public Housing Authority does have a plan to develop affordable housing units, but HPHA's focus is primarily marginalized, stigmatized, and vulnerable, racially diverse demographics impacted by wealth disparities. Decades of racial discrimination in real estate, lending practices, and federal housing policies have made home ownership difficult to obtain for minorities. And racial disparities in income are the result of historical and current discrimination and differences in education, wages, and employment rates, amongst other factors. The racial disparity is a result of higher home ownership rates and higher income amongst wealthy Asian households. So ethnic minority cultural households are likely to be extremely low income renters with incomes at around the poverty level of below 30% AMI. And within this demographic is a dire need for affordable homes. From the state of Hawaii's deep-ed economist, he quoted Japanese, Korean, Chinese, and Filipino communities have higher home ownership rates, which are correlated to income and better economic well-being. In contrast, newer immigrant groups like Micronesian, Tongan, Samoans are struggling with poverty, unemployment, and overcrowding rates. And these immigrant groups are very present in the neighborhood that I'm from, so I am, of course, very concerned. And this racial disparity is a result of historical discrimination of housing policies, whether intentional or not, to favor higher home ownership rates and higher income amongst the affluent and wealthy. And so therefore, I am concerned that if the discussion does not include the office very focused on examining the disparities of wealth within home ownership to prioritize low-income neighborhoods, then it will not be as effective. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, any further testimony?
Mr. Chair, we have none.
Thank you. Members, we're in discussion. Councilmember Tupola.
Hi, Chair. In support, I think that when we were doing the budget and deciding how much money to appropriate for the grants for affordable housing, it kind of struck me that we really hadn't given out a lot. So we put quite a bit in the budget this year, and if this bill can help to get more incentives out, I think that's the goal. The goal is for us to try to have this grant program, but also to make the funds available in an easier way so that we can get units built faster. And I do want to thank Gina for all her work because really, she's been really attuned to all the details of Chapter 32 projects and how to make it work better. So I am hopeful that this will also encourage the post-construction grants to be given out and that we can possibly reach the threshold of the money that we put inside the budget. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion, members? Seeing none, roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Councilmember Cordero?
Aye.
Councilmember Dos Santos Tam?
Aye.
Councilmember Kia Aina?
Aye.
Councilmember Okimoto?
Aye.
Councilmember Say? Councilmember Talba?
Aye.
Councilmember Tupola?
Aye.
Councilmember Wire?
Aye.
Chair Waters?
Aye.
Mr. Chair, there are 9 ayes.
Thank you. CR 131 has been adopted and Bill 3, CD1 has passed second reading. Councilmember Say.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. I move that Committee Report Number 132 be adopted and Bill 6 of 2024 pass second reading.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Councilmember Say for the explanation.
This provides explicit authority to a building official to administer and enforce provisions relating to building permits. It authorizes a building official to enter property under certain circumstances to perform a duty imposed by certain codes. It authorizes a building official to obtain an administrative warrant to enter property in certain circumstances. It requires a permittee to post or remove certain documents relating to the authority to conduct work on a property within the city and county of Honolulu, including notices to suspend or revoke a permit and stop work order. Mr. Chair, thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Clerk, do we have any testifiers?
Mr. Chair, we have none.
Thank you. Members, we are in discussion. Seeing none, roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Councilmember Cordero?
Aye.
Councilmember Dos Santos Tam?
Aye.
Councilmember Kia Aina?
Aye.
Councilmember Okimoto?
Aye.
Councilmember Say?
Aye.
Councilmember Talba?
Aye.
Councilmember Tupola?
Aye.
Councilmember Wire?
Aye.
Chair Waters?
Aye.
Mr. Chair, there are 9 ayes.
Thank you. CR 132 has been adopted and Bill 6 has passed second reading. Moving to the top of page 13, Councilmember Say.
Mr. Chair, I move that Committee Report Number 133 be adopted and Bill 10 of 2024 pass second reading.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Councilmember Say for the explanation.
This is Bill 10 relating to building permits, removing the affidavit requirement of stating no outstanding fines or liens for building permit applications and requiring an additional plan review fee when resubmitting applications that fail to include information required for review and approval not previously provided as part of a complete application submission. Okay.
Thank you very much. Mr. Clerk, do we have any testifiers?
Mr. Chair, we have none.
Thank you, members. We're in discussion. Councilmember Tupola.
Thank you, Chair. I want to thank the zoning chair for allowing me in on the discussion on this one. Definitely think the change from the affidavit to the attestation is going to be very helpful, but I also think that a change needs to happen on the additional fee that's going to be required if there's multiple submissions. And the only reason I'm saying that is because if you are a first timer or you truly don't know the system well and need to get well educated, I don't want to penalize those people that are stuck in the permitting system. However, if you have a license, if you applied for multiple permits and you're still having multiple submissions, I can see where DPP applying this fee might incentivize people to do a better job. So I'm hoping to see that edit in the final version of the bill, but I think overall it's great, and thank the director for her support on this.
Thank you. Members, any further discussion? Seeing none, roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Councilmember Cordero?
Aye.
Councilmember Dos Santos Tam?
Aye.
Councilmember Kia Aina?
Aye.
Councilmember Okimoto?
Aye.
Councilmember Say? Councilmember Talba? Councilmember Tupola?
Aye.
Councilmember Wire?
Aye.
Chair Waters?
Aye.
Mr. Chair, there are 9 ayes.
Thank you. CR 133 has been adopted and Bill 10 has passed second reading. Moving to the bottom of page 13, members, if we have no objection, I'd like to consider Resolution 24-92 from page 13, Resolution 24-50 from page 18, and Resolution 24-103 from page 22 together. We will take testimony on Resolution 24-50, 24-92, and 24-103 relating to ocean safety together. When your name is called, please begin by stating your name and the resolution you will be speaking on. We'll now consider the motion on each resolution individually. So, from the Committee on Housing, Sustainability, and Health, Councilmember Wire.
Did you want me to make all the motions simultaneously, or?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Well, no, you can just make the one motion, but we'll take testimony altogether.
Okay, so the page 13 motion?
Yes, please.
Because I have motions on 18 and 22 also.
Okay.
Okay, so I would move that Committee Report 140 be adopted and Resolution 2492 pass second reading.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Councilmember Wire for the explanation.
This is relating to the creation of an Ocean Safety Commission.
Thank you. Any testifiers, Mr. Clerk?
Mr. Chair, none on this particular resol, 2492.
Okay, let's go to page 18, members. Page 18. Councilmember Cordero.
Is the budget?
I move that Committee Report 92 be adopted and Resolution 24-50 pass third reading.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Councilmember Cordero for the explanation.
This initiating amendments to the revised charter of the City and County of Honolulu, 1973 amended 2017 edition as amended relating to the establishment of a Department of Ocean Safety.
Thank you very much. Is there a motion to amend?
Yes.
Councilmember Wire.
Yes, Chair. I further move that Resolution 2450 be amended to the posted FD1. That relates to essentially removing the department portion and leaving the commission portion on the ballot question.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded and explained. Are there any testifiers, Mr. Clerk?
Mr. Chair, we have two persons logged on to testify.
Okay, please proceed.
We have Jesse King and Rachel Achu.
Okay, is Mr. King available?
Yes, Chair Waters, I'm here.
Aloha, please proceed.
Aloha, Chair Waters, Vice Chair Kiaina, and council members. Mahalo for your time and your unanimous support for ocean safety and the dire need for it to become a standalone department. I'm hearing strong support for 2450. It's crucial for this resolution to go to the ballot so that people can vote on it. I see it as a great opportunity, and it's going to allow ocean safety the proper pathway to set up a new department the right way. It'll allow us to properly structure the department and give us the autonomy separated away from a mayoral appointed director. As a public safety agency, we need a commission where our department chief answers to the commission and not to the mayor. It'll offer us more transparency and accountability. We hope to structure it in the same way that HFD and HPD have their agencies structured. And I speak for myself. This resolution is allowing us to do this the way we want it, as opposed to 24-103, which is a great idea, but it's not going to give us the structure that we want for the longevity of ocean safety and allowing us to meet the growing needs of the public and the county. So thank you for your guys' time and your support. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Any questions for Mr. King? Seeing none, thank you. Is Raquel Achu available?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Please proceed.
Thank you. Good morning, Chair. Mahalo, Vice Chair Kiaina and Council. I am in support of 2450 FD1. I am happy to have the commission go to ballot as it should, but removing the actual creation of a department from the ballot takes it out of risk from any movement and progression that we've been able to make so far. I believe that's the most critical part of this process. Regardless of any type of leadership that's put into place, we stand in a place where we do have the opportunity to ensure the appropriate leadership and structure of that leadership. And I look forward to working with you all or commenting further on that portion of this process. But for now, yes, FD1 to move forward with our department and get them off of the ballot and support the commission at the ballot. Mahalo.
Thank you very much. Members, any questions for Ms. Achiu? Seeing none. Thank you. I see Sarah Fairchild has registered to testify on Resolution 24-50. Mr. Clerk, is Ms. Fairchild available?
Mr. Chair, Ms. Fairchild is not logged on.
Okay. Is there anybody else who wishes to testify on Resolution 24-50? Please proceed.
Aloha, Angela Melody Young, testifying on behalf of CARES. So I'm testifying in strong support of this discussion of the focus with the Ocean Safety Department because of a specific concern in North Shore Haleiwa, which, although I've never officially met with the council member of that district, I've heard from two organizations that are advocates for environmental protection and also ocean sustainability, that there is a need for an ocean safety first responder urgent care center in that district. And I think that prioritizing the district's capacity to implement a emergency response center for ocean safety is very important. And for also reasons being that I don't think a shopping center is more important than an ocean safety first responder center. So I'm in strong support of this discussion of ocean safety because of that priority.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. Clerk, do we have any other testifiers?
Mr. Chair, we have Joey Cadiz also logged on, but that's for the item on page 22.
Okay, well, let's stick with Resolution 24-50. I see Mr. Bond. Aloha.
Hello, Robin Bond with the State's Harbor Safety Committee. I'm Vice Chair, and just wanted to chime in that we're in support of 2450. Specifically, I don't necessarily understand how everything's working at this point, but from what I do gather, 103 gives us the department, 2450 gives us the commission. It seems that there's some lack of clarity about that, and I don't know why that is, but I need to do more reading. But if that's the case, if 103 gives us the department and we get the commission with the help of changes to 2450, it sounds like we're all in favor of that, or at least our board is. So thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Bond? Seeing none. Mr. Clerk, any further testifiers?
Mr. Chair, that concludes the testifiers.
Okay, members, let's deal with 2450. There's a motion to amend on the floor. Any further discussion on the motion to amend? Seeing none. Any objections or reservations to the motion to amend? Noting no objections or reservations, Resolution 24-50 has been amended to the posted FD1. Any further discussion on the posted FD1, members? Seeing none, roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Councilmember Cordero?
Aye.
Councilmember Dos Santos Tam?
Aye.
Councilmember Kia Aina?
Aye.
Councilmember Okimoto?
Aye.
Councilmember Say? Aye. Councilmember Talba? Aye. Councilmember Tupola?
Aye.
Councilmember Wire?
Aye.
Chair Waters?
Aye.
Mr. Chair, there are 9 ayes.
Thank you. CR 92 has been adopted, and Resolution 24-50 FD1 has passed third reading. Let's now move members to page 22. Page 22, the top of page 22. Councilmember Wire.
So I move that Committee Report 141, Resolution 24-103 be adopted.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Councilmember Wire for the explanation.
Initiating amendments to the revised charter of the City and County of Honolulu as amended pursuant to the Mayor's Executive Reorganization Authority, specifically authorizing the standing up and creation of an Ocean Safety Department.
Thank you. I note that we have two registered testifiers, starting with Joey Cadiz.
Hello, Chair Waters, council members, Joey Cadiz. Just wanted to reiterate my continued support for Resolution 103 in the mayor standing up the department, as this has been our goal from the beginning, was to obtain the department to seek the autonomy that we've been asking for. And with this measure going forward, we would be able to do that. I am thankful also, I'm sorry I didn't testify in Resolution 50, but thankful to Councilmember Tupolo's amendments made to that resolution for it to go to ballot with the commission only on it. And I am in support of this as well. So I appreciate the entire council and the mayor's administration for continuing to speak this forward for ocean safety. Mahalo.
Thank you. Members, any questions for Mr. Cadiz? Seeing none. Next, we have Raquel Achiu.
Aloha, mahalo again. Yes, yay, 103, yes, please. So many years of this, I'm so excited to testify at this point. Obviously in strong support of 103, securing the Department for Ocean Safety is critical. We need to be able to have these guys change with the growing environment that we have and give them some strong foundation to be able to progress effectively in their program. I'm very encouraged, looking very forward to the coming months to see them be implemented in their own department. So mahalo, and thank you all so very much for all of your work.
Thank you. Any questions for Ms. Achiu? Seeing none. Mr. Clerk, do we have any other testifiers? Angela Young, please proceed.
Aloha, Angela Melody Young, testifying on behalf of CARES. So I'm not going to testify on behalf of Neighborhood Security Walk because I'm being scrutinized by the public. So just full disclosure there. So I am testifying in support of the discussion of a ocean safety new office, and I think that if there can be a prioritization of simplifying the language on the charter amendments when doing this effort, that'd be really nice so everyone can understand what is being talked about when we're talking about a new ocean safety office. And also, there was a lot of discussion, it looks like, with the House resolution with the Ocean Task Force study. And so there were a lot of state offices that commented on it, like DLNR, and yet I think there should be space to ask the lifeguards to also talk about their concerns, because the lifeguards are going to be the ones that are going to be carrying out the ocean safety activities. And yeah, the lifeguards should really be in the planning process. Yeah, okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Clerk, do we have any other testifiers?
Mr. Chair, that concludes the testifiers.
Thank you again, Robin Bond Jr. I just wanted to read a headline from the 27th. It says, officers posted outside mayor's office after alleged heated discussion with ocean safety chief. I don't know if all of you familiar with that article that came out on Hawaii News Now? It's odd because the mayor wasn't in town, I believe. I believe he was in DC at a sustainability event. I just want to make sure that everybody, I'm not on the side of the mayor at all with 103. I question anything that he's doing or his administration is doing at this point, given the fact that this article went out the door. I'll speak to this if you guys want to know more about Hawaii News Now. And my experience with them, it doesn't seem that it's a big interest to the media, at least. So if that is a concern, I'd love to answer any questions. That's all I got.
Thank you. Any questions for the testifier? Seeing none, thank you very much. Mr. Clerk, any other testifiers?
Mr. Chair, that concludes the testifiers.
Thank you. Members, we're in discussion. Councilmember Tupola.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chair. First off, thank you for consolidating all of the measures together. I think it's good for us to just take it up as one. And I wanted to start off my comments by thanking, of course, Mr. Bond for being here, Raquel, Jesse, Joey for testifying today, but also Aka, Freddie, Brian, Sarah Fairchild, many people who have been consistently coming to testify and share their voices with us. I wanted to start off with this phrase, pupu kahi holomua, which means unite in order to progress. When Hawaiians were on a voyage, everyone moved together in the same direction. A successful voyage required commitment from all the members, and progress would be hindered if anyone wanted to move in a different direction than the crew. Here we have the opportunity to progress, to do what is best and what is right for our community and for our beloved lifeguards who risk their well-being protecting our beaches. Today I'm speaking in support of 10350. I believe we need to get behind 24103 and 2450 FD1 together and take a final vote today in support. The administration, specifically the managing director, stood in front of this council and gave us reassurances that they agree on the commission. They agree that the commission should appoint the chief. They openly stated they have neither spoken to nor pre-chosen a director or chief to lead the division until a commission is assembled. Their intent is to take the time from now until Ocean Safety Commission is chosen to lay important administrative groundwork for an incoming chief. I appreciate their transparency and bold and clear answers, resolving many of the concerns brought forth by the community. I thank Councilmember Wire for introducing floor draft for 2450, which makes the commission and department work perfectly together if passed on this November ballot. We both stand firm in the belief that Community Input and Oversight Commission are best practices for first responder departments across the nation. I thank Corp Counsel for their assistance in ensuring this floor draft will resolve any potential conflicts when 103 and 50 are passed together. Resolution 24103 will stand the department with assurances using the mayor's executive power, which would be faster than a ballot initiative. Since the introduction of this resolution, I've contemplated the pros and cons of this path forward. I've asked the administration hard questions about what this path will look like. Because of public statements they've made, I am confident moving 24103 and 2450 FD1 forward is the right thing to do. The managing director publicly stated that the administration will stand up the commission as soon as they can to create a fair and public selection process to choose a new chief to lead ocean safety. I will continue to work with the administration to make sure this happens, and I respectfully thank everyone who boldly and unwaveringly supported 2450. I am now asking all of us to support 24103 and the floor draft of 2450. A successful voyage requires commitment from all the members. Who are they? It's the administration, it's the council, and it's most importantly, the lifeguards. Pupu kahi I holomua. I want us and hope that we can continue to unite as one. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Councilmember Wire.
Thank you, Chair. And honestly, I don't think I could say anything better on what Councilmember Tupola said, but wanted to just share mahalo, of course, to her for really driving this conversation, and also Chair Waters for driving this conversation, and all of our colleagues that have participated, you know, from the extended hours conversation years ago to the increase in positions for ocean safety last year to, you know, getting us to this point where we can materialize the department. You know, as shared, you know, I also want to thank everyone that showed up today, Mr. Bond, of course, Joey, Cadiz, and Jesse King, and of course, all the other lifeguards that have come up at come out at previous hearings. I think it's been amazing to see just this level of involvement by the city workforce, by our lifeguards, both here at council and also offline, talking story in the community and reaching out by email and phone. And so just appreciate anyone that's taken time to have a conversation about this. Of course, in addition to our colleagues here, Councilmember Sunyoshi definitely had a large part in this conversation as well in building that foundation along with Raquel Achu. And so I think all in all, like, it's just exciting to be in this place where, of course, we also can thank the administration, Mayor, MD, and Deputy MD for all their work on this. And so I think it's just great to really have this opportunity to come together and be moving forward in the same direction. And the input and the open door, you know, continues. And as the department gets stood up, I hope that all of our workforce, all of our city lifeguards on the front lines feel comfortable and stay engaged and reach out to any of us, right, with input on how we can best support the department and the amazing work that they do, and just want to ultimately mahalo them for, you know, all that they do to protect our community and keep us safe. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Any further discussion, members? Seeing none, roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Councilmember Cordero?
Aye.
Councilmember Dos Santos Tam?
Aye.
Councilmember Kia Aina?
Aye.
Councilmember Okimoto?
Aye.
Councilmember Say? Councilmember Talba?
Aye.
Councilmember Tupola?
Aye.
Councilmember Wire?
Aye.
Chair Waters?
Aye.
Mr. Chair, there are 9 ayes.
Thank you. CR 141 and Resolution 24-103 has been adopted. Thank you, members, and thank you, Councilmember Wire, for your leadership and hard work, as well as Councilmember Tupola on this matter and working together to get this done. Moving back to page 13 now. Members, we did pass the resolution supporting the mayor's initiative to create the standalone department. We also passed 24-50, putting on the ballot the question of whether or not a commission should be established. So on page 13, what is your preference, Councilmember Wire?
I'd be okay deferring it. I think it's moot at this point.
Okay, so would you like to change your motion to pass second reading to a motion to defer?
I would move the committee report 140 be deferred, as well
Second.
as resolution 2492.
Thank you very much,
Second.
members. It's been moved and seconded. Any objections or reservations? Seeing none, so ordered. Thank you again, members. Moving on to page 14, from the top of page 14. We will be taking testimony on resolution 23-193, 24-82, 24-85, 24-86, 24-87, 24-91, and 24-105 relating to the Salary Commission and salaries together. Yep. When your name is called, please begin by stating your name and the resolution you will be speaking on. We will then consider the motion on each resolution. And again, it's my hope that all of them pass today and we move on to our committee where we can have another robust conversation. From the Committee on Executive Management, Councilmember Say.
Mr. Chair, I move that committee report number 147 be adopted and resolution 23-193 pass second reading.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Councilmember Say for the explanation.
Basically, it's initiating amendments to the revised charter of the City and County of Honolulu of 1977, as amended by 2027 edition, as amended relating to the Salary Commission.
Thank you very much. Mr. Clerk, do we have testifiers on any of the resolutions I've mentioned?
Mr. Chair, we have none.
I believe we have someone in the audience. Aloha again. Thank you so much. And please feel free to opine on any of the measures discussed.
Good morning. Wallen Christian. You know, I didn't read it in detail, but I want to say something about the salary commissions. I went to the meeting. I think I saw you, Chair Waters, there at that time. I got a better understanding of what they do. But I have a few questions, I guess maybe if you guys can take it into talk. And salary is very important to the people. You know, I understand you folks have all these bills you folks are looking at, resolutions and so forth. But if you say that we have more pressing issues than the salary of people in the city, then you've already failed your constituents. Because your job is to make sure that the constituents understand what's going on, what you're doing, and you are supporting them. Our people, and I mean, I sound like a broken record here, but our people are suffering financially. So this salary commission, and I'm gonna jump on 2 items, right? So the salaries that are being presented as an increase for 2024, 2025 year, it's still gonna hurt the people to the core. As far as the salary commission, I'm not sure how they operate. I know they're volunteers. What I would ask, and I don't know if it's in this bill, like I said, I didn't read it, and so please forgive me for that. Salary commission needs to be, if they're not, they need to be on a term limit. And the reason why, you folks are on a term limit. The governor, the mayor is on a term limit. It needs to, I understand they're not elected. I understand they're appointed. I love the fact that I heard, I think somewhere today, where they're for them to be appointed, you folks need to be taken out. I appreciate that all of you folks recognize that. You folks need to be taken. I personally think it should be put on the ballot and let the people decide, but I don't think a lot of people quite understand that process. So whatever else you guys have, as far as maybe having someone else to appoint those positions would be great. The Salary Commission is a member. When I was in there, there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people. I'm not sure if that's all of them. We have 1.4 million people in this state. I cannot emphasize enough, 5 people do not know what 1.4 million people are living on a day-to-day basis. So when they talk about money, that is very important to the people here, including yourselves. And that needs to be taken into consideration where we talk about salary commission, salary increase. Anything with the word salary is going to be a big deal to the people of Hawaii. Needless to say, since we're city council, the people of Honolulu. I ask that you guys look at this very carefully, and I think we're on 2nd reading right now with this. So I'm not sure how that works. I'm learning this system. I'm really trying to learn how you guys do this. If at all possible, if this stops now so you folks can discuss later, discuss more, with the constituents in mind, I do believe that you folks will have a partial kudos from the people because you guys are actually thinking about the people and not just trying to get through all of this so you guys are done. This is your job. You know, that's what you signed up for. So that's all I ask. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Members, any questions for the testifier? Seeing none. Any further testimony, Mr. Clerk? Oh, Mr. Monaco, please proceed.
I have a question, Mr. Chair. How much will it cost for you folks to give us more time? I would support you folks if you guys can give us more time. You know, because what we're asking you folks is 1 minute. I mean, Mr. Chair, really, 1 minute does not address anything. We should have the same time investors have or developers have. Actually, we should have more time than they have. Because we don't want, we are the people that pay your folks' salary, not the developers. But they have more time than us. Why is that?
I believe I let the previous testifier testify.
You know, that's something you folks have to think about because, you know, we the people, yeah, not we the developers. Thank you.
Okay. Members, any questions for Mr. Manaku? Councilmember Say.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, is it possible to explain to the general public why this particular measure is important to see that it gets on the ballot as a charter amendment?
Please proceed.
I don't know the internal deadlines, but for Ms. Christensen, if we don't do it this year, it's going to be 2 years from now. Come on, come on. So I'm just trying to give you a short process about how we, the council, have to work on this. This will probably be a charter amendment, correct?
Okay.
A charter amendment. What is, Mr. Clerk, our deadline in submitting an amendment to be put on the ballot?
Oh,
no,
Councilmember, the charter amendment needs to pass 3 readings by the July meeting at the latest.
Okay. So what was your question to me? I'm sorry, Mr. Say.
I wanted you and the general public to understand why we have these internal deadlines.
Okay.
If you guys want it to be done as we go along, every month having one of these issues brought to our attention,
okay,
you're not going to get on the ballot.
Okay, got it.
That's the whole point.
Got it.
Right.
Thank you for that explanation. And you know what? The general public doesn't know that.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking that question to the chair.
Right. So I don't know how you folks can stretch that out to the general public. I mean, I'm not sure if you folks should be doing it on your own. I do see several of you on social media talking to your constituents, which is great. Tyler is my district representative. So, you know, I see that. I don't see everybody on there. I'm not sure if all of you do that. But, you know, I love the fact that it's going to go back to the people, if that's what my understanding is.
Yes.
But the people have to understand what they're voting, because the verbiage on the ballots is very confusing.
So my recommendation, if it ever goes to the ballot by the July deadline, I'll probably go out to the neighborhood boards to share it with them. This is the proposal that will be on the ballots.
That'd be a great idea.
Okay. But it's not during this period in time, because you don't know what the language will be.
Correct.
Because you're testifying this morning, which is fantastic, and having this discussion, the general public out there is beginning to understand what we are trying to do,
correct,
what you're trying to do. So you've given the general public the opportunity of learning of what we have to go through also.
I appreciate that, but can I say something really quickly? Most people here in Honolulu are working during these hours. I have the blessing of not having to work at this specific time. I mean, I could be working, but I'm here instead. And I'm not speaking for everybody, but I know I'm speaking for a lot of people because they reach out to me. So that's what I'm just saying. Salary is very important for the people. I mean, all of you know that. You know, when they keep hearing that you're getting pay raises, and I think I was mistaken on the percentage with the mayor, and then you see nothing being done, it's kind of like, why are we paying you? And why are you asking for a pay raise? And other factors. The salary commission is another one. So yeah, thank you for explaining that to me. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Any further discussion, members? Seeing none, roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Sorry, Chair, are we taking the vote on all the salary commission?
We have to do it one at a time because it's a roll call.
Oh, can I make, brief comments?
Sure.
Thank you so much. I just wanted to thank yourself. You know, the conversation we had in the Executive Management Committee was important. And it's important for us to know that the Executive Management Committee is not actually monthly. And so I thank Chair Waters for suggesting that either we have 2 more hearings or we get some dates ahead of time, because to some of the points being made of people not being able to attend during the day, just in general, getting more of the public's opinion is important to me, and it's important to many of us. So thank you, Chair, for being willing to do that. We can't address all of the ideas, period. There's tons of ideas. I think we're going to have to try to take the most important ones and try to float something. I believe that Augie's proposal with representation from each council district matches perfectly with term limits, so that the selection of commission members is not only random, but it provides fresh perspective with each incoming commission member. This is one of the most important and fundamental concepts that would remove any bias or impartiality to the outcome of any recommendation. The second most important point, I believe, is that elected officials should be limited to a 3.5 salary increase or tied to collective bargaining, and remove any ability for elected officials to weigh in on the suggested raises. To everyone's point prior, we shouldn't be a part of the process. This is exactly the proposal from Chair Waters, to tether this to collective bargaining increases that we anticipate we have no authority to reject, and we implement that into the city budget. We need to allow the Salary Commission to have a little more leeway on non-elected positions to be sure that we can fill these important leadership roles throughout the city. I agree non-elected officials should not have a salary increase ceiling. I believe the ballot question should be, do you believe that city elected officials should be limited to a 3.5 salary increase, remove elected official rejection authority, choose salary commission members from each district, and term limit salary commission members? That's still a mouthful, but I thought I'd take a whack at trying to write out a question, because to everyone's point, we don't want it to be complicated. We don't want it to be overwhelming for the voter, but we're gonna have to take one or two of the top ideas and see if we can't make a change with it. So I thank Councilmember Wire for his suggestion that I just wrote yourself. I said it in the meeting, but I'll say it again. I'm liking a lot of other people's suggestions more than mine. So I'm hoping that we can get a final product out. Thank you, Chair.
No, thank you. I really appreciate your comments. That's really helpful. Councilmember Okimoto.
Thank you, Chair. I think moving forward, whatever we decide, it'd be really helpful to incorporate everything like we've shared. I did state earlier that my concern is we will get too much into the weeds, and my whole desire was that we remove ourselves from the process. And so initially I did think that having a cap or a ceiling of some sort was the best, and I did think initially doing collective bargaining was a good idea. But again, my concern is that when we start then dictating to the commission, who has their own responsibilities and their jobs, when we start deciding what they're going to do, then we again insert ourselves into the process. And that is my one concern and fear. I would hope that whatever we end up with, we go back to the 23-193, which has the elements of removing ourselves from any type of process. Again, not to have any mistransparency or any lack of accountability, because there is going to always be the public setting for the hearing to be, for the public input to be provided. But this is a model after what Maui does, which is, again, whatever the commission decides, they're placed there. And however we create the commission, it'll be interesting to see the ideas that come through this process. But whatever the commission then decides, and I think they should, and not we don't start giving little nitpicking details of what they should and shouldn't do, that's when I feel like it's going to get messy. Whatever the commission decides, then the council just accepts it. Like it just goes through, so that we don't have 20 years, 19 of 33 years, where there was political reasons for them to defer the salary or reject it, which led to the great discrepancy that we had to make up for last year. And we will always, I think this council will always have to take the brunt of what we did last year, which was get caught up. And again, I look to the future. I would hope that what we do will not then impact or negatively impede the future councils from what they need to get done. So I respectfully take all the suggestions, but that's my input. And I hope that we could implement at least part of this 23-193, which has the council being removed from the process after the commission does their job, and they dutifully do it.
Testimony and then come back to discussion. Mr. Clerk, could you let the testifier in?
Hello? Hello?
Good afternoon, Mr. Gary. Please proceed. We can hear you.
Yeah, good afternoon, everybody. One question I had regarding all this salary commission was the question of whether or not any of the members of the commission donated money to the election of any of the public officials. And if they did, they should recuse themselves from voting on this issue. I don't know if it's true or not, but years ago we ran into this at the Ethics Commission, where there was a complaint against the former mayor, and the commission members of that commission voted not to go ahead with charges because they had donated to the mayor's election. So it's the old quid pro quo. The mayor appoints, city council approves, and then it can lead to ethical violations. So that's one of my concerns with this whole salary commission. There's a lot of great ideas. I just would hope that the council would take that into consideration so there's no appearance of any ethical charges. Thank you. Have a great day, guys.
Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Gary, members? Seeing none, thank you. Mr. Clerk, are there any other testifiers?
Mr. Chair, there are none.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to take these one at a time, members, starting with Resolution 23-193. Roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Councilmember Cordero?
Aye.
Councilmember Dos Santos Tam?
Aye.
Councilmember Akia Aina?
Aye.
Councilmember Okimoto?
Aye.
Councilmember Say? Aye. Councilmember Talba?
Aye.
Councilmember Tupola?
Aye.
Councilmember Wire?
Aye.
Chair Waters?
Aye.
Mr. Chair, there are 9 ayes.
Thank you. CR 147 has been adopted and Resolution 23-193 has passed second reading. Moving to the bottom of page 14, Councilmember Say.
Thank you very much. I move that committee report number 148 be adopted and resolution 24-82 pass second reading.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Councilmember Say for the explanation.
Once more, it's just initiating amendments to the revised charter of the city and county, Honolulu, in regards relating to the salary commission.
Thank you. Any further discussion, members? Seeing none, roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Councilmember Cordero?
Aye.
Councilmember Dos Santos Tam?
Aye.
Councilmember Akia Aina? Councilmember Okimoto?
Aye.
Has been adopted and Resolution 24-82 has passed second reading. Councilmember Say.
Mr. Chair, I move that committee report number 149 be adopted and resolution 24-85 pass second reading.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Councilmember Say for the explanation.
Once more, initiating amendments to the salary commission.
Thank you. Any further discussion, members? Seeing none, roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Councilmember Cordero?
Aye.
Councilmember Dos Santos Tam?
Aye.
Councilmember Akia Aina?
Aye.
Councilmember Okimoto?
Aye.
Councilmember Say? Councilmember Talba?
Aye.
Councilmember Tupola?
Aye.
Councilmember Wire?
Aye.
Chair Waters?
Aye.
Mr. Chair, there are 9 ayes.
Thank you. CR 149 has been adopted and Resolution 24-85 has passed second reading.
Councilmember DeSantos Tam what the intent of that language is. Nobody seems to know. And my concern with that is that I have clients who have grants or contracts with the city. And does that language then mean that I would be barred from giving gifts to city officers or city employees? If so, I ask that that language be taken out. And I'll give you an example of why I think that's should be taken out. I support the $50 value, and note that on page 4 of the exemptions, under paragraph 10, it includes leis. And I think that that should just be exempt already under the $50 threshold. I don't think we need to have a separate statement for that. When we have additional information or additional requirements or exemptions like that in our laws, they make them more complicated, and simpler is better. I also wanted to share with you, I know that there's been a concern about gifts and potentially leading to expectations down the road, but I wanted to share something with you personal. Almost 22 years ago, my husband had a life-threatening situation. I was in town and I called 911. They came, and first responders came, the ambulance came, took him to the hospital, and he was put on a ventilator. And so they saved his life. And every year I give the fire department and our EMS down here, the local station, a small gift, baked goods. Sometimes I give them a mango, just to let them know that I truly appreciate what they did, and to acknowledge that they are in a very important position within our society. And I don't expect to ever get anything back in return for that. In fact, I don't want anything back, but it makes me feel good to just be able to give that small gift to them every year, and just to kind of share that story with them. So that's why I'm a little bit concerned about the language and the definition. So those are my comments. And thank you so much for working on this, because I do believe it is an area that we have some concern with how things are being done. So thank you so much.
No, thank you. Members, any questions for Ms. Iwasa? Seeing none, thank you very much. Mr. Clerk, do we have any other testifiers? Please proceed.
Aloha, Angela Melody Young, testifying on behalf of CARES in neither support nor in opposition. Just wishing to comment because I'm not sure exactly about the intent of the measure. I just want to point out that according to the revised ordinance of Honolulu Chapter 3, the Ethics Commission has revised guidelines of that chapter about gifts, and small tokens of aloha such as goodie bags, manapuas, snacks, food can be shared, especially during Christmas time. And also, nonprofits and businesses provide gifts to offices such as the Honolulu Police Department and the Fire Department as to alleviate the burden upon city resources. And I think there are good ways of operating with gifts and tokens of aloha that are ethical. So yeah, I think that there should just be consideration for the balance of ethical showing of aloha. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you. Any further testifiers, Mr. Clerk?
Mr. Chair, we have none.
Thank you. I do note, as I mentioned earlier, the presence of Jan Yamane and Ms. Nowicki from the Ethics Commission. If anybody has any questions for the Ethics Commission. Members, we're in discussion. Councilmember Tupola.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, I just wanted to thank Ms. Iwasa and, of course, testifiers that have chimed in on this. I would note, though, that the reason why I feel like lays have to be separated from the $50 is because, to be honest, I mean, my kids just had prom. Lays are sometimes over $150. And I think sometimes as people kind of gift it to us, I don't know if we just like rip the lay in half and say, okay, well, we can only take $50 of that. So I think in general, like all of the recommendations are sensible. They're things that we should all be abiding by. So the work has been done. I'm hopeful that we can pass this one. And you know, I know the last one expired, so I'm hoping we can get this one through because I think it's something that we all agree on. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion, members? Councilmember Dos Santos Tam.
Chair, thank you. And thank you for taking the lead on this after the previous bill ran out of time. I will note, I think to the point about the lay, as well as to several of the other provisions of this bill, the purpose is to create bright lines. I think that by saying $50, we're not encouraging everyone to go out and buy $49 lays, but I think it's to say clearly the typical lays that we might get are clearly under $50, no questions. But if somebody's going to give us a Ni'ihau shell lay, that's clearly over the line. And I think that having bright lines like that helps to avoid kind of the gray areas that really reduces, I think, the public's confidence in government. And so I think that the provisions in here are very helpful, and I look forward to seeing it through to the end. So thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion, members? Seeing none, roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Councilmember Cordero?
Aye.
Councilmember Dos Santos Tam?
Aye.
Councilmember Kia Aina?
Aye.
Councilmember Okimoto?
Aye.
Councilmember Say? Councilmember Tolba?
Aye.
Councilmember Tupola?
Aye.
Councilmember Wire?
Aye.
Chair Waters?
Aye.
Mr. Chair, there are 9 ayes.
Thank you. CR 146 has been adopted, and Bill 23, CD1, has passed second reading. Okay, members, it is now 12:30. Shall we take a half-hour break, or you want 45 minutes?
What?
Or we could push through. There's Councilmember Cordero.
I don't know about everyone else, but I would like to push through.
Yeah, given how close we are, I'll defer though, but I would be happy to push through as well.
Councilmember Kia Aina.
Well, clearly I get hungry like first thing in the morning, but I was looking at it, and there are less roll call votes because today we had more roll call votes than I've seen in a long, long time. So I think we could probably wrap this up in half an hour, 45 minutes. So I'm following the leadership of Councilmember Cordero and Wire and Holomua.
Okay, thank you. Let's move then to page 19. Page 19, members. We already took care of page 18. Page 19 from the Committee on Zoning, Councilmember Say.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. I move the committee report number 134 and resolution 24-95, committee draft 1 as amended, be adopted.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Councilmember Say for the explanation.
Mr. Chair, this is granting a special management area major permit to allow for the construction of a new single-family dwelling with an attached garage and a swimming pool in the Lani Kahai, Oahu.
Thank you very much, Mr. Clerk. Do we have any testifiers?
Mr. Chair, we have none.
I believe Mr. Monaco would like to say a few words. Please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. James K. Monaco Senior, concerned parent, As you notice, there is a special management permit. There must be something here that needs to be protected, or so. In Hawaii, we bury our family in our lots, yeah? We have rare animals on our island. Only in certain places now, not all over the whole island. So apparently this may be one of the areas. And the only people that can protect them are you. So if they're here, please help them and protect them. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further testifiers, Mr. Clerk?
Mr. Chair, there are none.
Thank you, members. We're in discussion. Seeing none, roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Councilmember Cordero?
Aye.
Councilmember Dos Santos Tam?
Aye.
Councilmember Kia Aina.
Aye.
Councilmember Okimoto.
Aye.
Councilmember Say. Councilmember Tauba. Councilmember Tupola.
Aye.
Councilmember Wire.
Aye.
Chair Waters.
Aye.
Mr. Chair, there are 9 ayes.
Thank you. CR 134 and Resolution 24-95 CD1 has been adopted. Councilmember Say.
Mr. Chair, I move that committee report number 135 and resolution 24-110, committee draft 1 as amended, be adopted.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Councilmember Say for the explanation.
Granting a special management area major permit to allow for the construction of a new single-family dwelling with an accessory dwelling unit, a swimming pool, and a garage in Kaneohe, Oahu.
Thank you very much. Mr. Clerk, do I have any testifiers?
Mr. Chair, just in the chamber.
Thank you. Mr. Manaku, please proceed.
James Yamanaku again. You know, obviously, if we're not going to be protecting our endangered species, maybe we need to take pictures of them so we can keep them for the future generations and show them that we did at one time had these animals amongst us, that so that our future generations can see that, you know, we didn't protect them. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further testimony, Mr. Clerk?
Mr. Chair, we have none.
Thank you. Members, we're in discussion. Seeing none, roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Councilmember Cordero.
Aye.
Councilmember Dos Santos Tam.
Aye.
Councilmember Kia Aina.
Aye.
Councilmember Okimoto.
Aye.
Councilmember Say.
Aye.
Councilmember Tauba. Councilmember Tupola.
Aye.
Councilmember Wire.
Aye.
Chair Waters.
Aye.
Mr. Chair, there are 9 ayes.
Thank you. CR 135 and Resolution 24-110, CD1 has been adopted. Moving to the top of page 20 from the Committee on Parks, Enterprise Services, and Culture and the Arts. Councilmember Tolba.
Okay. I move that CR 136 and Resolution 24-88 be adopted.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Councilmember Tolba for the explanation.
Accepting a gift of $3,000 to the city from the Friends of Honolulu Parks and Rec for the Department of Parks and Recreations program and or events.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, do we have any testifiers?
Mr. Chair, we have 1 in the chamber.
Okay, please proceed.
Aloha, Angela Melody Young testifying on behalf of CARES. And in strong support of Resolution 24-88 to accept a gift from the Friends of Honolulu Parks and Recreations for the Parks and Recreations programs. So the nonprofit was created as a business to provide specific support just for the Department of Parks and Recreations to raise funds for education and for the recreation of the city and its inhabitants.
Thank you. Any other testifiers, Mr. Clerk?
Mr. Chair, we have none.
Thank you very much. We're in discussion. Seeing none, any objections or reservations? Noting no objections or reservations, CR 136 and Resolution 24-88 has been adopted. Councilmember Tolba.
I move that CR 137 and Resolution 24-89 be adopted.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Councilmember Tolba for the explanation.
Accepting a gift of the use of 2 refrigerated containers, chassis, and motor generators valued at $1,366 to the city from Matson Navigation Company for refrigeration, wreaths, and lays of the Mayor's Memorial Day ceremony.
Thank you very much. Mr. Clerk, do we have any testifiers? Please proceed.
Aloha, City Council, Angela Melody Young testifying in strong support of Resolution 24-89 for the gift of 2 freezers or refrigerated containers and motor generators to the city from Matson Navigation Company for the Memorial Day ceremony and for the mayor. So it is important to preserve and protect peace as a cherished goal. And I think that's the goal of the Memorial Day ceremony. So when we live in a world where the geopolitical climate has become tense and uncertain because of oppressive war and unprecedented buildup, it is good to raise awareness about protecting and preserving good diplomatic relations. And I think
Thank you
the
very
gift
much.
helps to support that. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further testimony, Mr. Clerk?
Mr. Chair, we have none.
Thank you, members. We're in discussion. Seeing none, any objections or reservations? Noting no objections or reservations, CR 137 and Resolution 24-89 has been adopted. Moving to the top of page 21, Councilmember Tolba.
I move that CR 138 and Resolution 24-114 be adopted.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Councilmember Tolba for the explanation.
Accepting the gift of renovations to the Keiki Zoo Barn, Baboon Enclosure, Giraffe Deck, and other various projects valued at $100,000 to the city from the Honolulu Zoo Society for the Honolulu Zoo.
Thank you very much. Mr. Clerk, do we have any testifiers?
Mr. Chair, I have one testifier in the chamber.
Please proceed.
Aloha, Angela Melody Young, testifying on behalf of ROAR, Rescue of Animal Rights, a grassroots movement focused on rescuing feral cats and providing medical care and preparing the community for surgery processes relating to feral cats. And we are in strong support of the gift of renovations to the Keiki Zoo Barn. The Keiki Zoo Barn and the zoo camps at the Honolulu Zoo immerse Keikis in a very special experience with animals. And the Keikis and the campers at the zoo camp get to learn about the science according to the national science standards of the animals, and then also the plants and the various species, and they get to do interactive activities, and also they get to learn about environmental science.
Thank you. Any further testimony, Mr. Clerk?
Mr. Chair, we have none.
Thank you. Members were in discussion. Seeing none, any objections or reservations? Noting no objections or reservations, CR 138 and Resolution 24-144 has been adopted. Moving to the bottom of page 21, from the Committee on Housing, Sustainability, and Health, Councilmember Wire.
Thank you, Chair. I move that Committee Report 142 and Resolution 24113 CD1 as amended be adopted. This relates to a gift of $1,898.25 from the American Association of Motor Vehicle Administrators to the city.
Second.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded and explained. Mr. Clerk, do we have any testifiers?
Mr. Chair, we have one person in the chamber.
Please proceed.
Aloha, Angela Melody Young, testifying on behalf of CARES. And so in strong support of the gift for the staff members of the Department of Customer Services to attend the annual gathering. And the gathering is funded by the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration to facilitate dialogue between jurisdictions. It also advises and helps to teach about jurisdictional information of technology for those who are to operate commercial vehicles. And I think that will be very helpful. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, any further testifiers?
Mr. Chair, that concludes the testifiers.
Thank you. Members are in discussion. Seeing none, any objections or reservations? Noting no objections or reservations, CR 142 and Resolution 24-133 CD1 has been adopted. Members, moving to page 22, we've already taken care of Resolution 24-103. Moving to the bottom of page 22, from the Committee on Planning and the Economy, Councilmember Kia Aina.
I move that Committee Report 143 and Resolution 24-119 CD1 as amended be adopted.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Councilmember Kia Aina for the explanation.
This resolution relates the reprogramming of American Rescue Plan Act of 2021 state and local fiscal recovery funds program, an amount of $27 million in support of hazard pay.
Thank you very much. Mr. Clerk, do we have any testifiers?
Mr. Chair, we have one person in the chamber.
Please proceed.
Aloha. Angela Melody Young, testifying on behalf of CARES, and just concerned about the American Rescue Plan Act and the hazard pay, especially relating to the bus drivers from the COVID-19 pandemic, where everything was exacerbated by the COVID-19. And so the hazard pay is something that is going to be supportive for the bus drivers. So there should be consideration to prioritize that, because I don't think the bus drivers got their money yet.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, do we have any other testifiers?
Chair,
Councilmember
could I just ask a question?
Tupola. Oh, please.
I'm going to ask you a question, Angela. Thank you.
Hello.
Sorry, I just wanted to make a quick brief statement since I was the one that introduced the resol for the bus drivers. But I would just disclose that in their collective bargaining agreement, it did not state that they qualify for hazard pay. So I do think they're amending it, but per their agreement, we couldn't do the hazard pay unless it stated that. So it's unfortunate. We still love them. We love all that they do, but it wouldn't be addressing them. Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you for explaining.
Members, we were in discussion. Councilmember Kia Aina.
Thank you, Chair. First, I wanted to thank both the administration as well as Budget Chair Cordero for helping to move this reprogramming forward. In addition to the Teamsters, which I know the City Council is on record of supporting regardless of whether or not they had a provision for hazard pay in their agreement, it is my hope that we could also take care of our Honolulu Fire Department. And so I look forward to the completed negotiations between the administration and all of the unions with hazard pay in their collective bargaining provisions, but as well as seeing what we could do to kokua both the Teamsters as well as the Honolulu Fire Department. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion, members? Councilmember Tupola.
Yeah, I think this issue is very important. You know, we are the last county that's going to be giving this out, and I thank all of the workers that have been waiting patiently for this. Thank the administration for their negotiations, which actually got very specific into what parts of each agency or which department would actually receive this. So in light of what Councilmember Kiana said, I do also agree, wherever and however we can support people who did put themselves out there to whatever extent we can with what we've allotted. I really do thank all the city workers that did work through COVID, and many who got sick and many who actually had sicknesses that ended up creating a problem in their family and lots of separation. So I'm glad we're passing this, and I thank the administration.
Thank you. I actually have a question for Director Kawano. Can you give us a quick update on what's going on with the negotiations as far as hazard pay for our city workers, including HPD, possibly fire department, and others?
Andy Kawano, Director of Budget and Fiscal Services. I know that the mayor and MD and selected staff, I haven't been included, are having discussions with unions, including HGA and UPW. I'm not aware of the discussions with the police and fire unions. So I can't give much of an update and details because I'm not at those meetings.
Is it true that we are currently in binding arbitration with the public employees unions? Which would mean the discussions are over. It's up to the judge to decide. Are we in arbitration at this point?
I can't answer that question.
Do you know if HPD has concluded the arbitration?
I can't answer the question. Okay. Yeah, I'm not in those meetings.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
HPD, I see a lot of you here. Does anyone from HPD know whether or not they, are you in arbitration with HPD, or what is the discussion going on with HPD? And by the way, we appreciate you folks being out there on the front line, and you absolutely deserve hazard pay.
Hi, Elgin Arcaro, Major Finance Division, HPD. I'm not in any of those meetings, Chair.
Okay, thank you. Okay, any follow-up questions, members? Seeing none. Any objections or reservations? Noting no objections or reservations, CR 143 and Resolution 24-119, CD1 has been adopted. Moving to the top of page 23 from the Committee on Public Safety, Councilmember Okimoto.
Thank you, Chair. I move the Committee Report 144 and Resolution 24-93 be adopted.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Councilmember Okimoto for the explanation.
Accepting a gift of $4,000 to the city from the 200 Club to fund the Honolulu Fire Department's Manager, Firefighter, and Civilian Employees of the Year Awards.
Thank you very much. Mr. Clerk, do we have any testifiers?
Mr. Chair, we have one person in the chamber.
Please proceed.
Aloha, Angela Melody Young, testifying on behalf of CARES in strong support of Resolution 24-93. The 200 Club was founded to provide immediate financial assistance to the families of the police officers deceased in the line of duty. The Honolulu Fire Department is a leader in partnering with districts and communities to maintain a culture of safety and service, and it is important to support initiatives to learn about fire hazards and tools to reduce the risk of fire or injury to your home or the inhabitants of the city's homes. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, do we have any other testifiers?
Mr. Chair, that concludes the testifiers.
Thank you. Members, we're in discussion. Seeing none, any objections or reservations? Noting no objections or reservations, CR 144 and Resolution 24-93 has been adopted. And thank you to the Fire Department for being here all day. Councilmember Okimoto.
I move that Committee Report 145 and Resolution 24-115 be adopted.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Councilmember Okimoto for the explanation.
Renaming the Honolulu Police Department's Police Academy, Kukula Makai Gymnasium, in honor of former Honolulu Police Department Chief Lee D. Donahue.
Thank you very much. Mr. Clerk, do we have any testifiers?
Mr. Chair, we have none.
Thank you. I do note we have Major Manuel Hernandez here. Aloha, thank you so much. I saw you here earlier today. Would you like to say a few words?
Aloha, Chair, Vice Chair, Council members, Major Manuel Hernandez of the Honolulu Police Department's Training Division. We support the resolution, and we think it's a fitting commemoration of years of dedicated service by Chief Donahue. In addition, our HPD leadership will be discussing the matter with the Honolulu Police Commission as well. And I'll be available for questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Any questions for the Major? Seeing none, thank you again. Appreciate you being here today. Members, we're in discussion. Councilmember Tolba.
Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to say thank you for moving this forward. We all know the Chief's dedication as well, his dedication at the city. The family really is looking forward to naming the gym a place where he loved, where he helped a lot of residents in the area learn martial arts. So thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for your hard work on this matter. Any further discussion, members? Seeing none, any objections or reservations? Noting no objections or reservations, CR 145 and Resolution 24-115 has been adopted. One second. Thank you, members. Moving to the top of page 24, Vice Chair Kia Aina.
I move that Committee Report 91 and Bill 21 be filed.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Vice Chair Kiana for the explanation.
This bill relates to fines, fees, and other revenues of the Department of Planning and Permitting.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, do we have any testifiers?
Mr. Chair, we have none.
Thank you, members. We're in discussion. Councilmember Dos Santos Tam.
Chair, I don't know if this is the appropriate time to do so or if we need to dispose with the motion that's on the floor, but I'd like to offer an alternative motion to recommit Bill 20 to the Committee on Budget.
Okay.
Second.
Second. Okay. The motion is to recommit back to committee. OCS, what are our options here? Okay, any discussion? Councilmember Dos Santos Tam.
Thank you. Chair, I think it's important that we at least keep this bill alive in some way, shape, or form. You know, I think that there are so many efforts underway to help to address the issues, the many issues at the Department of Permitting and Planning. I think it's important that we have a vehicle that addresses some of the issues that this bill brought up. The fact that not a single dime of what they collect goes back to helping the department, investing in what the mayor called, you know, the wicked problems, the people, the technology, the processes. And so, you know, I think it's important for us to be able to hold their feet to the fire in some way and to have a vehicle to do so.
Okay, thank you very much. Councilmember Cordero.
Thank you, Chair. While I have expressed my opposition to the legislation, I am open to recommitting it back to the Committee on Budget and keeping it in the Committee on Budget. Mahalo.
Okay, any further discussion, members? Seeing none, any objections or reservations to the motion to recommit? Seeing none, CR 91 and Bill 20 has been recommitted to committee. There being no balance of committee reports and no unfinished business, turning to page 25, new business.
I move that Resolution 24-109 be adopted.
Second.
Councilmember Kia Aina.
This resolution accepts a gift of up to $2,000 to the city from the Institute of Internal Auditors for travel and related expenses for one staff member from the Office of the City Auditor to attend the 2024 Leadership Academy in Orlando, Florida.
Thank you. Is there a motion to amend?
I move that Resolution 24-109 be amended to the posted FD1, and the FD1 makes the amendments set forth in the written summary as posted on the agenda.
Second.
Thank you very much. Mr. Clerk, do we have any testifiers? This is on
Chair,
the
we have
motion
one
to
person in
amend.
the chamber.
Please proceed.
Aloha, Angela Melody Young, testifying on behalf of CARES in strong support of Resolution 24-109. And it is for the Leadership Academy, and it is for the Institute of Internal Auditors, and it's going to be in Orlando, Florida. So the Leadership Academy enables sponsors to engage with new clients and employers to connect with the next generation of internal audit professionals. And these events provide an opportunity to network with decision makers and high-value targets in the areas of audit, risk management, risk assessment, compliance, and other priorities as well. So there will be domestic and international students to learn about career development strategies and job training and the industries. And there will be international participants. So this is a great thing to look forward to get trained by. Yeah, so in strong support.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, do we have any other testifiers?
Mr. Chair, we have one other testifier in the chamber.
Okay, please proceed.
Hi, good afternoon, Walin Christian. It's really not a testimony. I just have a question, not sure if I'm out of order. Whenever the city council has all of these donations, does that affect the people financially? is my question. If it doesn't, great, I'm all good. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Does anybody want to address that? Councilmember Wire.
Yeah, and you can say up in case you have. So essentially, these are typically gifts to the city. So the city's not paying for them, and so it wouldn't be taxpayer money being used. But it could be dependent, right, on these conferences. If there's an organization that's going to gift it, same if someone wanted to gift a lifeguard tower or a park, swing set or playground, something like that, right? So it just varies, but generally, whenever it's gifted to the city, that means it's given from outside the city, so it's not taxpayer money that's used for it.
Okay, and then just to follow up on that, because we know how corrupted politics are, and I think people are going to ask the question since I'm here. Should that be received, can the people worry that there's possible under the table buying a vote is what I want to know, and I'm sure everybody else wants to know.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great question. I think that's actually the exact reason why this process happens. So it's through a resolution at the council, publicly stated, and in a lot of these cases, right, it's not necessarily going to a particular elected official. Occasionally it may. I don't want to speak for everybody, but a lot of these cases are simply maybe departments participating in national organizations or discussions. But I think that's a part of the reason it goes through this public process, is so everyone can see it. It's on Olelo, you can see it now, and then people can give input if they think it's a bad idea or, why they think it's a good idea.
Okay, great, thank you. Transparency, that's what I wanted to hear. Thank you.
Mahalo.
Thank you. Councilmember Dos Santos Tam, did you have a comment?
No, I was going to echo Councilmember Wire's comments about why this process is important. So it is public, and we know where the gift's coming from and what its purpose is.
Thank you. Any further discussion, members? We're on the motion to amend. Seeing none, any objections or reservations to the motion to amend? Noting no objections or reservations, Resolution 24-109 has been amended to the posted FD1. Now, members, we're on the posted FD1. Any discussion? Seeing none, any objections or reservations? Noting no objections or reservations, Resolution 24-109 FD1 has been adopted. Vice Chair Kia Aina.
I move that Resolution 24-128 be adopted.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Vice Chair Kia Aina for the explanation.
This resolution accepts a gift of 200 Gold Star rewards valued at $500 to the city from McDonald's of Hawaii for the Department of Parks and Recreation Lay Donation Contest for the Mayor's Memorial Ceremony.
Thank you very much. Mr. Clerk, do we have any testifiers?
Mr. Chair, one person in the chamber.
Please proceed.
Aloha, Angela Melody Young, testifying on behalf of CARES in strong support of the 200 Gold Star reward gift. So, the purpose of these gifts being proposed on a public platform is so that it will be a transparent process, and gifts from nonprofits and businesses lessen the burden upon taxpayers. And so it's a good thing, right? Because then taxpayers, they don't have to pay for resources that should be provided by the city, but yet the nonprofit and the business is now providing it instead. So it's a good partnership, it's a good collaboration, and it's on a transparent platform. And this $500 from McDonald's for the Lay contest, I'm in strong support of. McDonald's is a big sponsor of Hawaii Children and Youth, which is an official state event which takes place on city grounds at the Frank Fosse Park. And so it is good to see, as a concerned citizen, that businesses and the city and the state are working well together, and the workflow is good to support the community. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, do we have any further testifiers?
Mr. Chair, that concludes the testifiers.
Thank you very much. Members, we're in discussion. Seeing none, any objections or reservations? Noting no objections or reservations, Resolution 24-128 has been adopted. Vice Chair Kia Aina.
I move that Resolution 24-90 be adopted.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Vice Chair Kia Aina for the explanation.
I move that Oh, I'm sorry. This relates to the transfer of funds
Correct.
for the Honolulu Fire Department.
Thank you very much. Is there a motion to amend?
Yes, there is. I move that Resolution 24-90 be amended to the posted FD1, the summary, which is attached. It basically states that in the now, second, and third whereas clauses, and in the be it resolved clause, it amends budget activity titles to correctly reflect the budget activity titles listed in Ordinance 23-15, which is the Executive Operating Budget and Program for fiscal year 2024, and makes miscellaneous technical and non-substantive amendments.
Second.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded and explained. Mr. Clerk, do we have any testifiers on the motion to amend?
Mr. Chair, we have none.
Thank you. Members, we're in discussion on the motion to amend. Seeing none, any objections or reservations on the motion to amend? Noting no objections or reservations, Resolution 24-90 has been amended to the posted FD1. Now are there any testifiers on the FD1, Mr. Clerk?
Mr. Chair, we have one person in the chamber.
Please proceed.
Aloha, Angela Melody Young, testifying on behalf of CARES in strong support of the transfer of funds. And this transfer of funds is to support the HFD, the Honolulu Fire Department's Training and Research Bureau, and also the HFD Fire Communication Center. So in strong support because the fire department supports us in emergency response.
Thank you very much. Are there any other testifiers?
Mr. Chair, that concludes the testifiers.
Thank you. Members, any further discussion? Seeing none, any objections or reservations? Noting no objections or reservations, Resolution 24-90 FD1 has been adopted. Vice Chair Kia Aina.
I move that Resolution 24-111 be adopted.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Vice Chair Kia Aina for the explanation.
This resolution relates to the transfer of funds for the Department of Budget and Fiscal Services.
Thank you very much. Is there a motion to amend?
Yes, I move that Resolution 24-111 be amended to the posted FD1, which the amendments are set forth in a written summary as posted on the agenda.
Second.
Thank you very much. It's been moved and seconded. Mr. Clerk, do we have any testifiers?
Mr. Chair, we have none.
Thank you very much. Members, we are in discussion on the motion to amend. Seeing none, any objections or reservations to the amendment? Noting no objections or reservations, Resolution 24-111 has been amended to the posted FD1. Members, we're now in discussion on the posted FD1. Seeing none, any objections or reservations? Noting no objections or reservations, Resolution 24-111 FD1 has been adopted. Moving to the top of page 27, Vice Chair Kia Aina.
I move that Resolution 24-112 be adopted.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Vice Chair Kia Aina for the explanation.
This relates to the transfer of funds for the Department of Medical Examiner.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, do we have any testifiers?
Mr. Chair, we have one person in the chamber.
Please proceed.
Is this for 112 or 122?
112.
112? Okay, never mind.
Thank you. Any further, excuse me, are there any other testifiers, Mr. Clerk?
Mr. Chair, we have none.
Thank you very much. Members, we're in discussion. Seeing none, any objections or reservations? Noting no objections or reservations, Resolution 24-112 has been adopted. Vice Chair Kia Aina.
I move that Resolution 24-121 be adopted.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Vice Chair Kia Aina for the explanation.
This resolution relates to the transfer of funds for the Department of Parks and Recreation.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, do we have any testifiers? Moving to the top of page 28, Vice Chair Kia Aina.
I move that Resolution 24-122 be adopted.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Vice Chair Kia Aina for the explanation.
This resolution relates to the transfer of funds for the Honolulu Emergency Services Department.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, do we have any testifiers?
Mr. Chair, we have one person in the chamber.
Please proceed.
Aloha, Angela Melody Young, testifying on behalf of CARES relating to the transfer of funds for the Honolulu Emergency Services Department. And this is for the ocean safety equipment expenses required for installation and removal of 5 lifeguard towers. So in strong support because ocean safety is important to protecting the community.
Thank you very much. Mr. Clerk, do we have any other testifiers?
Mr. Chair, that concludes the testifiers.
Thank you. Members who are in discussion. Seeing none, any objections or reservations? Noting no objections or reservations, Resolution 24-122 has been adopted. Vice Chair Kia Aina.
I move that Resolution 24-123 be adopted.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Vice Chair Kia Aina for the explanation.
This resolution relates to the transfer of funds for the Honolulu Police Department.
Thank you very much. Do we have any testifiers? Please proceed.
Aloha, Angela Melody Young, testifying on behalf of CARES. And so we have a Kapalama neighborhood security walk in which we train with the community policing team with the Honolulu Police Department. So I want to show appreciation and support for them and testify for the transfer of funds for equipment. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, do we have any other testifiers?
Mr. Chair, that concludes the testifiers.
Thank you very much. Members, we're in discussion. Councilmember Tupola.
A quick question for HPD.
Elgin Arcaro, Major, Honolulu Police Department, Finance Division.
Aloha, good afternoon. Thank you for being here. A quick question. So I believe this is for the purchase of a trailer for the disposal of hazardous substances or fireworks. Is that correct?
It's to safely transport explosive or hazardous material, yeah, like fireworks or ammunition.
But it's for a trailer, correct?
Correct.
And the trailer you guys are purchasing to use it for other disposals too, or you guys are just renting it as a one-time basis? What exactly are you guys going to do with the trailer?
We're looking at procuring a trailer, and attached to that trailer is this containment system. For technical, yeah, I'm going to bring an officer from the Specialized Services Division to talk about the technical aspects of it.
Corporal Otto, Honolulu Police Department, John Otto. Questions?
You don't have to go into depth. I just wanted to know because I've already seen trailers inside multiple of the parking lots at the station. So how is this one different? And you guys are procuring it on a one-time basis, or you think you need this into perpetuity because you have so much fireworks, or what is it?
It's mainly to dispose of unserviceable ammunition. So it's going to be something the department's going to be keeping for many years to come. We only require one.
Oh, it's for ammunition, not for fireworks.
It can do fireworks as well, but it's mainly for unserviceable or degraded ammunition.
And where are you guys disposing of this at?
This is going to be done mostly at, well, it's portable. So we can do it at the Cocoa Head Range. We can do it at the training academy. We can do it at military installations on their EOD ranges.
Oh, the collection of?
No. So we have a stockpile of ammunition probably collected over decades that has degraded. So it's becoming a explosive hazard. So before it gets to the point where it's unsafe to handle, we're going to dispose of it correctly.
Yeah, so my question is, where do you dispose of it?
So it's a portable trailer, so we can take it to anywhere we want to. Yeah, so academy, we can take it to a military base to operate it.
I guess my question is, do you just throw it away? I mean...
Oh, no, this is, no. The trailer you're talking about, or the ammunition?
The ammunition. So anytime there's something to be disposed of, it has to be taken somewhere. So you can either take it to PVT if it's construction material, H-Power if you're going to burn it.
It's completely recyclable. So the lead is melted down and collected and given to recyclers, as well as the brass casings. It's completely recyclable.
Okay, that was my question.
Yeah.
Thank you for answering that. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Any further discussion, members? Seeing none. No, thank you guys for being here all day. We'll do our best to move you up earlier in the day so that you don't have to spend your whole day waiting here. But thank you guys. Any further discussion, members? Seeing none, any objections or reservations? Noting no objections or reservations, Resolution 24-123 has been adopted. Vice Chair Kia Aina, page 29.
I move that Resolution 24-134 be adopted.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Vice Chair Kia Aina for the explanation.
This resolution relates to the transfer of funds for the Department of Enterprise Services.
Thank you very much. Mr. Clerk, do we have any testifiers?
Mr. Chair, we have one person in the chamber.
Please proceed.
Aloha, Angela Melody Young, testifying in strong support of the transfer of funds for the Honolulu Zoo for emergency repairs to the pump system at the hippopotamus exhibit. The enormous hippopotamus habitat is in need of an emergency repair, and this will be very necessary to address animal welfare and safety accreditation standards. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Clerk, do we have any other testifiers?
Mr. Chair, that concludes the testifiers.
Thank you. Members, we're in discussion. Seeing none, any objections or reservations? Noting no objections or reservations, Resolution 24-134 has been adopted. Vice Chair Kia Aina.
I move that Resolution 24-135 be adopted.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Vice Chair Kia Aina for the explanation.
This resolution relates to the transfer of funds for the Department of Land Management.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, do we have any testifiers?
Mr. Chair, we have one person in the chamber.
Please proceed.
Sorry, I got ahead of myself. Aloha, Angela Melody Young, testifying on behalf of CARES in strong support of the transfer of funds for the Department of Land Management. So the department protects, develops, and manages properties which benefits all of the community. And the vision is a future of inclusivity and conservation. Amongst the duties of the department is to oversee many homeless and affordable housing projects and to acquire lands to protect natural environments and cultural activity sites and habitats. And the department operates the Clean Water and Natural Land Funds Project, which focuses on protection of natural resources and water supply, and also preservation of forests, beaches, coastal resources, and agriculture, as well as providing education to culturally important sites to protect environmental concerns of Hawaii. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, do we have any other testifiers?
Mr. Chair, that concludes the testifiers.
Thank you. Members are in discussion. Seeing none, any objections or reservations? Noting no objections or reservations, Resolution 24-135 has been adopted. Moving to the top of page 30, there are no items for the Committee on the Whole or executive sessions. Are there any announcements? Councilmember Cordero.
Thank you, Chair. I just, since it is May and also one of our colleagues' birthday is in May, I would like to wish an early birthday since we won't be all together on that day. I'd like to wish Councilmember Toba an early birthday, and we can wish him on the 29th when it is his birthday, but just wanted to give that shout out today. So happy early birthday, and we'll celebrate later.
Happy birthday. Any further announcements, members? I have a question. Go ahead, Councilmember Dos Santos Tam.
Chair, on Friday morning at the Mission Memorial Auditorium, I'm hosting a discussion with Lupono and many other people on parking. And we're hosting Henry Graber, who is an expert from the continent about parking and parking reforms. My district, of course, has a lot of parking challenges, as does the whole island. And so I invite you to attend.
Appreciate that. Thank you very much. And I want to encourage as many people as we can to go to that. I think that's would help us. Hey, I just had a real quick question. You know, the legislature has a public access room where the public can, there's computers in there, they can look up the bills, they can ask questions of folks. And it came up today a couple times that folks didn't have an opportunity to read the measures that we had. I know downstairs the clerk's office does have the measures where people can go down there and read it, but it might be helpful to do a public access room. Is that something that you all are interested in creating? Councilmember Cordero?
Yes.
Yep, okay. Anybody else want to opine? I see a thumbs up from Councilmember Tupola. And Dos Santos Tam, wonderful. Okay, thank you very much. We'll look into it with the clerk's office to see where we can put that and perhaps make computers available for the public. Okay, wonderful. Thank you, everyone. Vice Chair Kia Aina for the motion to adjourn.
I move that the meeting stand adjourned until Wednesday, June 5th, 2024 at 10 a.m.
Second.
Any objections? Hearing none, the council stands adjourned until Wednesday, June 5th at 10 a.m. Mahalo, members.